Good evening and welcome to Waverley Park for an historic event, the first night grand final in Australian football history, and it's going to be the EFL grand final first division between Vermont and East Burwood, and we're looking forward to a fantastic night. Big crowds build up and excellent conditions here for this night grand final. Joining me in the commentary box, Bob Young. Good evening, Bob.
Good evening, Jeff, and look, it's a real buzz to be here. As you said, the first night grand final. It's a historic occasion for us as well.
Certainly is. A privilege to be here, and also it's a privilege to have the North Ringer coach in the expert commentary role, Steve Parsons. Good evening, Steve.
Good evening, boys. How are you?
Good, thanks, Steve. And your thoughts on this game, Steve?
I think it's going to be a cracker of a game. I think East Burwood can bounce back and find some more spark that they've had all throughout the year. Vermont are worthy opponents, are sure. I just looked at the scene set, the ground's looking magnificent, the lights are on, it's fantastic, and I think it'll be a cracker of a game.
I certainly think so, Steve. I agree with you. We know that it will be. Vermont won the second semi-final by 30 points. We see East Burwood, the toss has been won, might be kicking down towards the small scoreboard end, and Vermont will be going up towards the large scoreboard. We're just about ready for a start, and yeah, looking forward to fan. The crowd has built up all during the day, and ground in excellent conditions, and a little bit chilly, be a little bit of dew out there, Bob, I presume, a bit slippery to start off with.
Well, the air's fairly heavy, Jeff, at this time of the year, but the ground was certainly dry up until late this afternoon, so I'm not so sure it's going to have a great effect. As the night wears on, we may see some effect, but early on, fairly dry conditions.
Stuart Wind at full forward, Nick Tennant up there for East Burwood. We also have down forward for Burwood, Harris is moving down there. Also Simon Gordon, who's kicked a few goals. Benny Holmes. Also Brad Neal down forward. So Rees and also Smith. So just about set for an historic grand final. The first time night grand final in history in the EFL First Division grand final. The umpires for this occasion, number 3, Bart Maskant, and number 14, Mark Lawson. And we're ready for a start here in this grand final. And Bob, get us away, mate.
Okay, just about to start this fantastic game here at Waverley Park. Slater in the ruck for East Burwood. Takes it out of the centre. Good effort. Oh, it's tight in there. Look at that. These boys are going to take a little while to settle down. Forcing the ball forward over here is Edwards for Vermont. Umpire's blown the whistle. And it's going to be a Vermont free. Hands off. Good effort. Running down through the centre of the game. Oh, an awkward looking kick there. The big fella's taken it. Handball's on. Finds Cullen over here. Vermont running the ball forward. Oh, trying to force his way through there is Dwyer. Dwyer on the left foot has a shot deep into 50. It's going down to the top of the square. It's a Vermont mark. It's Gordon has taken it.
Gee, strength from Hart Dwyer through there, Steve.
No, it's fantastic. Really wanted the footy and went straight at it.
Okay, Vermont now with a shot. We're 50 seconds into this first quarter. Simon Gordon, the number 15 player for Vermont, on a fairly acute angle, but only about 25 metres out from the big scoreboard or the Jackson's Road end goal. In he comes, lets it fly. Umpire runs towards it and says, just the one behind. So Vermont with the first blood. That'll help settle them down. Just over a minute into the game. And Jason Coghlan to retrieve the ball for East Burwood and put us back into play.
Interesting, they're not zoning up.
Huge pack of players there, Steve, isn't there?
No zone here.
No, the old...
Vermont have elected to go man for man.
Okay, Jason Coghlan decides to go wide of the centre-half back position. Players pushing and shoving. That was against Luke Slater on that occasion.
No, it wasn't. Free kick to Richardson.
Going to go to Richardson. Yeah. Interesting. I thought it was going to go the other way.
It's a little bit happening.
It's a little bit happening.
The little fella and the big fella are into it.
Yeah.
The little fella and the big fella. It's big. Adam Slater
big
and
Brad Hall has thrown his weight around.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst thing he could do is fire up Slater.
And Cullen in there too.
And Brad Cullen.
They're all getting into Nick Tennant too. So.
It was the long and the smaller one. So Richardson for East Burwood. Which way is he going to go? Oh, he's going to go short. Actually, that's probably not a bad ploy over there. And he found Arthurson on that occasion. Arthurson goes wide of that centre-half forward position. Hands off the pack. Good effort. Is that Smith? Coming through there to Goldsworthy. Goldsworthy has a... pushes it down to Wine. Can Wine pick the ball up? Whoa! Whoa! It's on!
Oh, Lamprell and Wind.
I think Lamprell come off second
He
best.
certainly did. Ball's wide over here towards the commentary position. That's Witcher. Pushes it back towards centre half forward. Derry Coughlin couldn't take it for East Burwood. The ball's wide. Boundary line right in front of our commentary position.
Really hurt
1
himself,
point the
Lamprell.
result, or 1 point in the game at this stage. That's to Vermont. 3 minutes into the quarter.
Coming
East
off the
Burwood yet
ground.
to score.
Yep. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, Andrew Lamprell, as you mentioned, Steve, come off second best in that.
So he's coming off.
Yeah, looks like a bit of a
He's not well.
not well at all, and be replaced by Smith. We have a throw-in pushing up towards centre wing in this game there. Slater out of the ruck does well to Coughlin. Coughlin pushed off the ball. We'll get it in towards centre square. At the back, was it Edwards? Was he taken high? No, play on. Kicked off the ground there by Smith for Vermont. It'll come here through the middle. They got the numbers over the top. It'll come to Smith. That is for Vermont. Runs in to inside 50. Kick is too far, and getting back Alan Richardson is marked for the East Burwood side. He'll switch play across the ground there, looking for Williamson. You better hurry up. Gordon down. They got the numbers there. Reeves will get it at ground level. Hook round his body, and it's another point to Vermont from Paul Reeves. So they have 2 points on the board. East Burwood yet to score.
In that clash down the other end, guys, neither of those players was going to give an inch. They just went hard at each other, and we've seen the Vermont player off.
Coughlin with the kick in will find Richardson at half back. Lopes away, looks for Luke Slater and marks, feeds off quickly there, and I'll just kick it along the boundary line there, just in touch. Is it out? It's out of play now. That was by Martin, Ashley Martin for the East Burwood side. We've got a throw in right in front of us, and boy, plenty of pressure, Steve.
Yeah, it's a hot footy at the moment.
Yeah, it
it's a
certainly
very
is.
fiery encounter. So Burwood might try and East Burwood are going to just try and settle down a bit.
Right, Slater in the ruck, but coming through there with Smith for Vermont. Pushes along the bound line, pushed off it. And that was Matt Smith for Vermont. And he was pushed off it by Martin for East Burwood. Adam Slater, in the ruck against Brad Hall. Another boundary throw in, pushing up towards half forward for Vermont. Slater with strength. Now Cullen will get it. Slips over, loses his feet. He better get rid of it. It's a hot ball. In they go there. Quick hands will come out to Houghton. He will get it at centre wing. Kick to half forward. He's got Witcher in space and will find him. And Mark, little one over the top, looking for Wind on the lead. Won't reach him, but it'll bounce. But getting back is Mark. Cullen does well. Breaks the tackle and runs away. One bounce across the goal face. Heads through that outer side. He's just holding the ball. No, third bounce and a fourth. Just drawing the player over the top to Todd Power at half back, and he touches on the ground and will run away. He'll kick a long ball to centre. Up they fly. Houghton in front. Nearly marked it. Got it on the second. To Arthurson, who bursts through there. Arthurson kicks long in for Wind out in the lead. Can he mark it? He's got it. Stewie Wind. Great mark then. And good play from Paul Arthurson through the middle. Also well done by Cameron Houghton on that outer side. And a good strong mark to Stuart Wind.
He didn't chase his man Wind then. Toddy Power ran right up the ground and got involved in it, and he opted to wait back, and that's the price you paid for it.
Good play from Cameron Houghton that got the ball to ground, and then a good hand pass off to Arthurson, and it left Wind, who took a good mark now. It'd be about 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Stewie Wind for East Burwood's first goal, and he comes. Low kick, won't be a goal. It'll go across the face and actually hit the post, the boundary post there, so it'll be a boundary throw-in. Yes, off hands.
Yep.
And a boundary throw-in in the forward pocket for East Burwood.
Okay, we're 6.5 minutes into the first quarter. Vermont 2 points. East Burwood yet to score. And we've got a throw in right beside that right-hand point post at the freeway end of the ground. Well, typical of a grand final, guys, is the real arm wrestle in this first few minutes.
Yeah, take a while for each side to settle down.
Certainly well tended to do the ruck for East Burwood on the forward line against Paul Barlow. I don't think either player really got any great advantage from that. The ball's wide. That's over the line for a free to the East Burwood side. And that will be taken by Cowell. Justin Cowell. There he goes, deep into the 50. Player with the lights in his eyes on that occasion.
Big Slater.
Big
Slater, is it?
Slater, yeah.
It was an interesting to watch Slater and Hall there. Hall was making position out here to get the footy when it went out in the full, and Slater ran right down there on his own, so they're poles apart. And once the ball was turned over, Hall couldn't get back quick enough. He knew he was in trouble there.
Adam Slater shoots. It's wide. And just the 1 point. So that puts the first point on the board for East Burwood at the 7.5 minute mark of the quarter. Vermont lead 2 points. East Burwood just the one.
East Burwood setting up the zone, Steve, from the kick-outs.
Yeah.
Paul Barlow, the designated kicker, if not the full-back for Vermont. Which way is he going to go on this occasion? Dwyer giving him a short lead. He ignored that. Then he decides to go short, looking for Smith. Jason missed him. Handball across. East Burwood. No, it's Vermont will come away with this one. Looks like it's Cullen. Forces it out. Centre wing. Right in front of our commentary position. Player interfered with there. And Neil will take the free.
Yeah, against Luke Slater there.
Brad Neal. Left foot. There he goes. Just short of 50 on this occasion. Ball at the front of the pack. Off hands on that occasion with Arthurson. Couldn't take it for East Burwood. East Burwood now come forward through Martin. Handball to Derek Coughlin. Oh, little chip kick there. And Derek Coughlin finds Dean. Dean, hands off there to Goldsworthy. Goldsworthy now on the left goes bang. It's a high. It's a top. Can Stewie Wine take the mark? No, he can't. It bounces and bounces wide. Over the boundary line and out of bounds. Nearly 9 minutes into the quarter. Vermont 2 points. East Burwood just the one.
Thanks, Bob. Very interesting start. A lot of pressure on. East Burwood moved well through the middle, then moved the ball well through the middle. Cameron Dean fed off to Goldsworthy. And interesting to note, Steve, that they're getting Stuart Wind one out against Todd Power down there. Throw into the forward pocket. Tennant tries to work it out there. He can't get it there. Pushed off the ground by there Cameron Dean. He goes in and we'll have a free kick against him. We'll go back there to Cullen. That is Brad. Free kick to Brad Cullen.
Goals are hard to come by at the minute, aren't they?
Certainly are.
9 minutes into it, we haven't got one yet.
Brad Cullen will kick out looking for Smith, for Jason for the Vermont side, and he's marked at defensive 50. He looks for Brad Neal and heads for him. Luke Slater in front, Neal at the back. Over off hands. Down there is hot and feeds it back to Arthurson. Arthurson with time. Round the corner will then find Goldsworthy. No, he couldn't mark it, but he paid the free kick. It's Goldsworthy with the mark at centre wing for East Burwood. Just slipped a little bit as he took off then. Kicks a long one into the Tennant direction at the back. Up they go. He'll be a free kick against Tennant there, and then the free kick will go to Vermont. Back there to Dwyer. Back there at the... quick hands off to Cullen. That is Mark. He runs out of defensive 50. Looks for Smith. That is Matt. Smith is marked for Vermont on half-back line. Another little one for Gordon on the lead and finds him well out of his forward territory. Simon Gordon for Vermont. He's going to switch it right in the middle. It has to be accurate, and it is. Good kick there to Matty Edwards, and off he runs on his left foot. Run through centre square, go down through to half forward. Up they fly there. Nearly good mark. Here's Neil with the crumbs. Hooks it back into the square, looking for Harris. It's too far for him. Richardson with strength. Works him out. Oh, good body work from Alan Richardson. Kept him off the ball. Well done, but well done by Harris to recover. Holmes goes in. He's attacked, and oh, that was precious stuff.
Very strong Richardson then, wasn't he?
It was, Steve, wasn't he? And then...
I thought he might have been held by the arm too, Steve.
Yeah. Geez, he held his balance well.
Okay, we have a ball up, a bounce down. Always a bad one. It'll come out to Martin. Can he grab it? He did well for his bird then. Oh, Coughlin. Jason stole it off his teammate and kicked the centre wing to Tennant, but he couldn't get it. Dean has a chance at ground level. In he goes, Cameron Dean, but he can't clear it. It's out of bounds on that outer side for a throw-in.
It's desperate, isn't it?
Oh, 2 points to Vermont, 1 point to East Burwood, and we've had no goals yet, and we've travelled nearly 11 and a half minutes in this grand final from Waverley Park. Slater versus Hall in the ruck. Slater wins out there. A chance for Vermont to kick it to half forward. Well done by Williamson. Worked his man and did well. Recovered the ball. Kicked a low one along the ground towards the wing and out of bounds for another throw-in on that outer side.
Williamson's been a very, very good player for East Burwood over a long, long period of time.
Has Adam Williamson, yes.
Played in a number of positions as well.
And Harris at full forward. Betty Holmes matched up by Arthurson down there. Slater, Hall over the top. Good thump, but what stolen then, and East Burwood will run away here. Kick it through nearly to 40, looking for over the top there. That was Cowell. He couldn't get it, but went back again. Justin Cowell kicked it backwards by foot. They've got a chance here to work it around. Oh, in trouble there is Hislop. Did well, got out of trouble. Round one, round two. Kicks it across the ground towards Wind on the lead. The race is on. Ball spins back. Here's time for East Burwood through Arthurson to line up. Oh, he's got a man on his own in the pocket. He caught one after it's Witcher, but he caught one. And is it downfield? It's the mark anyway. It doesn't matter. But just caught one, but the kick just wasn't penetrating enough, Steve, for allow Witcher to mark and then turn around and
He
run
had
on.
a lot of space,
He
though.
did.
If that had been a good penetrating kick,
Yeah, exactly. He would have got to him and he would have been able to turn around and run. Now, he's on a tight angle. He'll only be 25 metres out, but on a fairly tight angle. Justin Witcher looking for the first goal of the game. East Burwood, in he comes from a tight angle. And I think he's missed that one too, and it's an even ball game. It is. It's 2 points apiece. And at the 13-minute mark, it's 2 points apiece, Bob.
Looked as though Witcher's left foot may have just turned on the turf as he kicked that ball for some reason, and of course it was wide. Okay, Paul Barlow to bring the ball back in for Vermont. We're at the 13.5-minute mark of the quarter. 2 points versus 2 points. Umpires found a free Power. Couldn't quite take the ball, but nevertheless gets a free kick. Power back in that defensive 54 East Vermont. Hands off. Moving the ball forward now. Down to the centre wing here in front of our commentary position. Slater from the back of the pack punches it forward and over the boundary line and out of bounds.
An interesting contest tonight, Steve. Slater and Brad Hall.
Yes, it will be. They're both, I think, fired up after those early incidents. So it'll be interesting to see how both react to each other. And I think it's a good tussle between Brad Neal and the younger Slater too.
Neither ruckman got it on that occasion. Ball to the front of the pack. Derry Coughlin couldn't get there for East Burwood. Vermont now coming down through here. Can Neal mark it? No, he can't, but it comes down to Luke Slater. Handballs back. Looking there for Martin, but Martin is absolutely crunched.
It was
And
Jason Coughlin on Paul Rees. There's still...
and Ashley Martin in underneath there somewhere. Okay, the ball to come back in. Looks like Luke Slater on this occasion in front. Takes the ball. Awkward. Tried to get it out of the back of the hand, but nevertheless, good hands off there by Houghton. Tried to get the ball across to Coughlin. Couldn't do that. Going forward, there is Rees. Into the forward 50. Vermont now bang forward. Edwards. Edwards has kicked the goal. First goal on the board to Vermont through Edwards. And, well, it was a long time coming, Steve.
Yeah, it was, and they're into it again down in the forward line of Vermont. I don't know, I've got this sneaking suspicion that Vermont have got a pre-planned thing to try and ruffle up East Burwood.
But what a great goal to Matty Edwards, the way he was able to weave through traffic then and get on his left foot and just put it straight through from about 30 yards out for the first goal of the game.
At the 15-minute mark, Vermont go to 1-2-8 to East Burwood, just at the two behinds.
Thanks, Bob. Adam Slater with strength. Hand passes intercepted by Cullen. Works it out there. It'll come out to Nummy. Nummy outside 50 goes a little short one and finds, I think it might be Harris out there is marked, taking a good mark, strong mark there.
In front of Richo?
Yep. And that was good play from it. Yes, it is Harris. David Harris for the Vermont has taken a strong mark. Now he'll kick from about 45 on about a 45-degree angle and look for the second goal for Vermont inside a minute. We've travelled 15 minutes. That's good play by Cullen and also Nummy combining. Harris for Vermont. Kick from about 45, and he comes. Will not score, just might sneak in for a point.
It's terrible kicking,
Hooked that, it's out in the full. Hooked it badly, Stephen, didn't you?
It was a great play by Cullen, though. He's really desperate.
Yeah.
Won that footy out for them.
Jason Coughlin with the free kick in the back pocket for East Burwood. Just waiting. Vermont covering all the kicks at the moment, just waiting for the nothing to kick, so just pump a long one out to half back. Slater and Hall in front. Neal too also. It'll come down to Dean. Good hands off to Martin. Martin will run centre wing, one bounce. Go in there to half forward there and look for Cowan. He marks an recovery straight on. Looks for Stewie Wine on the lead. Has he got it? No, 1-2. He couldn't. Well done by Todd Power. Desperate to Smith. Smith's in trouble. There'll be free kick will come back to Vermont.
Again, Stewie Wine.
Come back there to Henderson to take the free kick and half back. Now he has Todd Power alone at centre half back. Has time to run off touch it once and go to that outer side. He has Smith. That is Andrew Smith alone on that outer side, and he can run away at half-back. Kick out there to a long lead. One-on-one contest, Rees and Coughlin. Rees does well. Coughlin pressures him. Well done, Jason. Off hands, and it's out of bounds for a throw-in on that outer side. 1-8 Vermont. Nearly 17.5 minutes in this first quarter to East Burwood. 2 behinds. boundary throw in at the outer side. Now, we did a free kick there. Didn't see what that was for, Steve. You see it?
No, I couldn't see that.
Might have been off someone's foot out on the full, but will be free kick to Vermont on that outer wing. We go down there to Cullen. That is Brad. Way out in that half-forward line. He keeps hugging it to the boundary. Looks for Harris on the lead and drops it. Dived down low but dropped it.
It was interesting to see that Brad Cullen actually slipped when he kicked that, Jeff.
Free kick there off the ball. I don't know what that was for. Couldn't see what that was for. He dropped the mark, but anyway, it's David Harris with the ball now. He's outside 50. Looking for options and leads. David Harris for Vermont. Just outside 50, will pop it right up to the top of the square up there. Holmes in front, nearly took the mark. Down at ground level and they go. Martin does well. Pushed out by Williamson. Here's Richardson. Comes across. All to Adam Slater. Good work combining and away they'll run. It'll come there to Goldsworthy at half back. Can he grab it and turn around? Good hands over the top there to Luke Slater, who runs away there and kicks into the centre of the ground looking for Dean. He couldn't mark it, but well done by Cameron Houghton. He'll get the freaking play on straight away. Now he's got Wind on the lead again. Out he comes in front of Power. Witcher at the back. Can he get it at ground level? He was retarded, but well done there by Henderson to relieve. He goes to that outer side, and he has Smith in Matt for Vermont. Away he goes. One bounce, but he's lost control of the ball. Will he get it back under pressure from Edwards? It does well. Turned over. Houghton will get it. Come into Coughlin. Derek at centre wing. Oh, he's got Hislop alone at half forward. He can mark and run inside 50. Long shot at goal. This looks like it might go all the way. Hislop for East Burwood. What a fantastic goal there. Brendan Hislop from right on 50. And the first goal of the game to East Burwood. 1-8 apiece.
You nearly marked that down to Travis Edwards' chase
there. Exactly, Steve.
He went 30, 40 metres and really put the pressure on him and forced the turnover. I thought he did fantastic there, running without the footy. He
did also, in contributing to that, Steve, was also Cameron Houghton twice involved there.
Yeah. Brendan Hislop, Steve, we saw his two brothers last week playing for Waverley Blues, and they got up and won a premiership. So it's one hell of a footballing family.
Isn't it?
Well, okay, the ball back in the
level, Bob, 20-minute mark.
1-8 apiece as the ball is bounced up in the centre. Slater and Hall on that occasion. Neither got a decisive knockdown. Chipping in there is Martin for East Burwood. He goes on the left and goes forward. No one can mark. Vermont can work it out of there. They do now. Into the centre square and out of the centre square at the other end is good play. Neil couldn't quite take it for Vermont. Luke Slater. No, umpire's blowing the whistle.
Yeah, free kick to Brad Neil. Too high.
So he's given away a lot of inches there, Slater, but he's just a terrier.
Brad Neil now on the left. Goes down into 50. And he's got Nummy. East Burwood left Nummy loose on that occasion, and you just can't do that.
He's able to run up from half-back just to follow it up and got into space.
He's certainly too good a player to leave alone. Nummy decides to go short now. Can't find a Vermont teammate. Nummy now handballs back, in fact, to Edwards. Edwards, he's in trouble. Edwards dodges round a couple, actually hands off. Umpire said, see you later.
I couldn't see what for, to be honest. Could you see?
No. And Goldsworthy to take the free for East Burwood. Goldsworthy on the left, turns it over. Cullen. Gee, again, East Burwood left Brad Cullen unattended.
Sassman on for Witcher for East Burwood.
Okay, Brad Cullen now, centre wing here, right in front of our commentary position. A good long kick, a 50-metre kick down into the 50 zone. Ball goes at the back of the pack. Can East Burwood get it out? Yes, they can. Richardson, kick to wide here to the centre wing. Wine working a long way from home. Ignores the hand pass there. He could have gone across to Martin. Smothered kick, and Fury, that probably wasn't the best option. It was Nummy on that occasion. Did extremely well for the Vermont side.
Absolutely wasn't the preferred option then.
Should have given it off to Ashley Martin.
Yep, he was off and running.
Okay, the ball comes back in. Luke Slater in the ruck for East Burwood. He got the tap down. No, it wasn't. It was Adam Slater. Gee, they look alike, those two guys. The ball's over the boundary line and out of bounds. Throw in right in front of our commentary position. 22 minutes into the quarter. 1-8 apiece in this arm wrestle of a First Division Grand Final. Slater and Hall. Hall in front on this occasion. Hall got it down to Cullen. Cullen, little handball there to Martin. Martin picks it up, shoots it down into 50. Whoa, these players, that's
power.
Yeah, good mark.
Power.
Plenty of courage there.
Wow-wee. Not for the faint-hearted out there, Steve, is it?
No, not at all.
Okay, Todd Power now awkward looking, kick down to the centre wing here. Slater couldn't take it for his Burwood. Hall at the back of the pack. Gets the ball across. Running, here we go again, Matthew Edwards. Matthew Edwards, look at him go, he's into 50, a daisy cutter. Richardson takes it, Reece Burwood, tries to force his way through the pack, loses it. In fact, picks it up. Smith gets it out wide. Whoa! Umpire said, hang on, hang on.
Having a crack at it.
And Williamson comes up with the ball for East Burwood. Adam Williamson, I think it's safer up here, guys.
Yep.
Adam Williamson goes wide to the half-back flank on this spacious Waverley Park. Smith takes it, handballs across here. Got good running in Arthurson. Down to the centre wing position. East Burwood working it forward now. Derek Coughlin, no, he's not going to go in and pick that one up. Yes, he does now. Good effort, Derek Coughlin. Just sidesteps a couple and bang, he goes down into 50. Stewie Wine couldn't take it on that occasion. Bucks up Stewie Wine. Good effort, handballs it off. And that is wide. I think, is it a goal? It's a goal.
It's Cameron Dean, I think.
Cameron Dean, wow, East Burwood, second goal on the board. And that takes East Burwood on to 2-2-14. Vermont 1-2-8, and we're at the 24-minute mark of the quarter.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, terrific goal to Cameron Dean. And Stewie Wine, as you mentioned, backwards with the handball. He's been a target, a running target, Stuart Wine, hasn't he? And fed it off to Cameron Dean, who ran inside 50 and kicked the East Burwood's second goal. 2-2-14 to Vermont, 1-2-8. 24 minutes into this grand final, First Division grand final, night grand final from Waverley. Coughlin knocks it out. Chance for Sassman to get his first touch. In he goes under the pack. Dean forces it out. Vermont at the back, can they get it, work it there? Dean goes in again like a terrier. Picked up there by Hott and kicks it in. Hott to Smith over the top, comes down there to Barlow. Barlow will feed it off there to Cullen. He'll have time in the back pocket to steady and run around Tennant. He does. Over the top to Smith for Vermont. They'll work it out. The hand pass will go to Barlow out there. They've got time and numbers out there, but the kick smothered, but it will still reach there. Henderson, he will go long to half forward, looking for Reeves out in the lead, but it went past him as the siren sounds. 4 quarter time, short quarter, just went 24 minutes and 58 seconds. And at quarter time in this First Division Grand Final, under lights from Waverley, we see East Burwood with the lead. 2-2-14 to Vermont, 1-2-8. And Stephen Parsons, very, very pressurised, tough first quarter of football, grand final-wise.
Yeah, it's good, tight, tough footy. Both sides realise they're playing for the ultimate prize for the season. And no one's asking any quarter and giving any quarter. The scene was set with Lamprell down there.
Yep.
And all over the ground it's been a tight tussle, and there's nothing in it at the minute.
Nothing in it at all. There's only a goal in it, but boy, we're set for a terrific grand final. The goal kickers in that first quarter was Cameron Dean for East Burwood with 1 and Brendan Hislop, and also Matthew Edwards for Vermont. So at quarter time in this First Division grand final, East Burwood 2-2-14 lead Vermont 1-2-8, and we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter. Welcome back to the start of the second quarter at Waverley Park in this First Division Grand Final, where we see at quarter time East Burwood the lead 2-2-14 to Vermont 1-2-8. I'm just waiting for the big crowd now, Bob, that's built up over the day, and a terrific crowd for this historic night.
They're a very vocal crowd too, Jeff.
At Waverley Park. Well, we're ready for a start in this second quarter. What was a great first quarter of football, tough and hard. Up they go. Hall out of the ruck for Vermont, but Edwards will grab it. He's tackled there by Smith, and Smith from Jason Smith for Vermont gets it at centre wing. Out looking for its wise mark. No, he hasn't. Against Luke Slater, and has pushed it towards the boundary line and out of bounds for a throw on that outer side.
I would have given you $50 had Dwyer marked that then.
Yeah, I thought he had it most of the time, but it spilled out at the last minute. We've got a throw in on that outer side. Adam Slater. Brad Hall. Hall gets up there, knocks it back, but it's all East Burwood. Over the top, we'll get a hand pass there. Here's a chance for Goldsworthy to run it down. Keeps it back in play for Edwards. He goes backwards there, and it would have been Martin out there. Will be able to kick it into centre wing up. They fly, punched away at ground level. Oh, well done there by working hard under the pack with East Burwood. Will come out there. Vermont with the numbers there will kick it inside 50. Getting back there, Luke Slater nearly took a good mark, did well. Coghlan forces his way through out towards Goldsworthy, but Matty Edwards keeps him play to Harris. It's tough in there. Little kick towards 50. Benny Holmes goes up, can't mark it, and East Bird will run away. He's a chance in the middle. They've got the numbers there. Cameron Dean will mark off to Hislop. Oh, it's intercepted there. Well done by Cullen. Will come out to Smith for Vermont. He picks it up inside centre square, inside the 50. Up they fly, pushed out at the back there, but it's picked up there by Rees. Shot on goal, bouncing. Gordon, can he get his foot to it? No, he couldn't get his foot to it. Simon Gordon, he tried to knock it down onto his foot there, Steve.
He did.
I don't know what he's doing, a bit of made a meal of it.
Yeah, that's 3/4
Yeah,
of that.
that's about right. He should have two hands, grab it with two hands and just try and quickly get your foot to the ball. Nearly 2 minutes in this first quarter. Vermont 139 to East Burwood 2-2-14, and it'll be Jason Coghlan to bring. Now East Burwood huddling. Now they break. Arthurson breaks first, and he'll head for him too and find him. And still running away he goes, but pressure there from there. That was by Benny Holmes. He did well, Ben Holmes. Good pressure. Arthurson will get a second chance. Under a lot of pressure to Martin. Martin along the boundary line to Luke Slater to Dean. Dean's caught by Matt Smith and tied up at centre wing. Yeah, they certainly did. A great chase from Benny Holmes then actually on Paul Arthurson, because Paul Arthurson doing a lot of running off. He would have been told at quarter time to watch that. Hall wins out. Edwards will get the crumbs. Travis Edwards over the top to Luke Slater. Back to Edwards, following up with a 1-2. He's got Coghlan running in space and marks one hand away. Goes one bounce through, two bounce through centre square. Has time to set it up. Kicks a long ball towards Wind and Cowell at the back. Well done by Vermont to kill. It'll come back there towards slick hand pass to Cameron Dean from 30 out. Cameron Dean shot on goal. Just missed.
Yeah, Jeff, what I noticed when the ball was going down the ground there, Cowell's actually at full forward with Stewie Wines out in the flank.
Yeah. I don't see Nick Tennant. I don't see him on the ground at the moment.
He's out there?
He's out there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kick out from full back for Vermont. Barlow. 3 minutes into this third quarter. And different kick set up for the Vermont side. Barlow goes out there and will find it was Todd Power dropped what he should have taken. Chance for East Bird. Goldsworthy at ground level to Houghton, a little bit too hot for him. There's Coghlan, kicks it, but well done. Breaking through as Vermont all clear from half back there. Go to half forward, over the top there. Down to Holmes, tries to feed it off to Rees, but well done. The pressure, Coghlan did well. Over there to Williamson. Williamson kick didn't hit the target. Slater pushes all out of the way.
He got away with it.
He got away. Here's Smith for East Burwood. He's lost the ball, and the free kick will go to Jason Smith for Vermont out on that centre wing.
Unbelievable. Jason Smith comes up with the ball for Vermont.
Yes.
You can't have but laugh at times. Okay, Jason Smith centre wing, kicks it down towards the 50. Slater at the back couldn't take it. Handball there for Williamson. Gets it back to Luke Slater. He handballs it off. Derek Coghlan. East Burwood going further forward. Houghton out the back. East Burwood going forward. Goldsworthy it was. Down into the forward 50. Eludes all players. Gee, this is tough in there. Gets it off here to Martin. Martin goes bang. Look at that. Bang. That's a goal. Ashley Martin.
Cameron Dean again, Steve.
Yeah.
Brilliant play from Cameron Dean. The slick handball off to Martin. Ashley Martin, who kicked a good goal. And, yeah, Cameron Dean once again involved.
Martin's moved from the centre out to the wing and change with Coghlan.
Yeah.
And they're rotating from the centre to the wing. And they're all pretty quick, slick operators in the midfield for East Burwood.
Just over the 5-minute mark of the quarter. East Burwood 3-3-21, leading Vermont 1-3-9. Umpire Mark Lawson about to put the Sharon Collix back in. Neither ruckman got it on that occasion. Force wide. Cullen Brad get around on the left foot. No, decides to go for a bounce and another bounce. There's no East Burwood going to him. Goals where they did in the finish, but he gets it down. Oh, I think East Burwood dropped it there. Coghlan and comes out to Jason. He goes long, back up to where the ball came from. Goldsworthy in front, ball punched away, down to the front of the pack. It's all East Burwood here. They'll go forward there, through that half-forward flank area, into 50. Cowell at the back of the pack, can't bake it. But the Vermont player punched it on that occasion, just missed who he was. But over the boundary, Frankie's good effort, over the boundary line and out of bounds.
I think East Burwood's back line's getting on top now, and they're really running it out well.
Yeah, Luke Slater then.
They're all been...
Jason
Coughlin's been excellent, yeah.
great.
Ball to come back in. Neil and Slater on that occasion. Slater tried to take it. He was in the front. Dropped it. East Burwood going forward now. Hislop, hands off. Good effort. Oh, she's very tight in there. Good tackle. East Burwood out. East Burwood out over the top. It'll go to Wind, and Wind will go bang and kick East Burwood's fourth goal. Good play.
Goldsworthy. Great hand pass. Was paid holding the ball in there. The advantage was paid to Goldsworthy. He ran on and just drew the man well and straight over the top to an easy goal. Stuart Wine, Stephen.
Starting to get the upper hand East Burwood at the minute.
Yep.
Just short of the 7-minute mark in the first quarter. East Burwood go on 4-3-27 to Vermont 1-3-9.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I agree with you, Steve Parsons. East Burwood certainly on top across half-back and midfield at the moment. Goldsworthy's been a good player for them too. Houghton will take it out, tap it to his ruckman Slater, but he couldn't get it. Here's Smith for Vermont, but it's chopped off by Derek Coughlin. Off one step, looks for Tennant at half forward and finds him. Just outside 50, Nick Tennant will line up and go long here to the square, looking for Hislop against Cullen. Hislop in front, knocked down, and Todd Power does well. Clears from across the goal face, comes out to half back to Nummy. Aranami, good pick up on the half volley. Little one over the top will find Smith for Vermont. The high ball to half forward. Coughlin getting back. Is that going to stay and get the mark anyway? That was a kick from Matt Smith of Vermont, but Coughlin got the free kick and out in the full. Has Cameron Houghton alone at half back. They're threatening East Burwood at the moment. There they go forward again. Hall getting back. Tennant comes in, does well, feeds it out to Slater. Slater towards Sassman, but he couldn't get it. Henderson feeds it back to Cullen. Cullen back, and Matt Smith should mark this for the Vermont side. Does at half back. Just nothing happening. A little one over top to Nummy at centre wing.
He's played well for Vermont, Jeff.
He has, Aaron Nummy. Yeah, Vermont getting a few players ready to come on. Lee Rowe also too for his first run. The kick from Nummy to half forward. Good mark to Harrison. No, against him. Free kick push out to Luke Slater. And Slater will take the free kick. He's got on top across half-back this quarter, Luke Slater for East Burwood. There he goes, wobbles it across there, looking for Arthurson and Holmes. There he goes. Holmes does well if he can steal this, pick it up. He kicks it to himself and does at centre wing. He's looking for Gordon. It was a well-placed kick, and Gordon is marked outside 50. He's got Jason Smith streaming inside 50 for him. Now he's got Smith on the lead, and here is a good pass too. That's a terrific pass, and he's found Andrew Smith on the lead there. That was a terrific pass.
Which you're back on for East Burwood and Sassman off.
Well, that was a better play. Better play, Steve.
Yeah, more fluent from Vermont.
And started by good play from Benny Holmes there at half-back.
Yeah, now, I'd like to see more from him. He's a pretty talented player.
Andrew Smith, the vice-captain, from about 35 out, virtually directly in front for Vermont's second goal. Will it make the distance? But they will mark anyway in the goal square. Might be Dwyer's taken a mark. Hart Dwyer has... I think everyone thought that he was automatically going to get the distance.
And East Burwood didn't have a tall
didn't have a tall there, and Hart Dwyer's virtually taken an uncontested mark. He's only 5 metres out. He'll be on a 45-degree angle, but should convert from here. Andrew Dwyer, games record holder for Vermont, and he comes and does convert for Vermont's second goal. 2-3-15, 2 goals down on East Burwood, 4-3-27. Well, I suppose, Steve, that's one of those ones that never presume in football.
You can never assume anything, but that'd make the Richo's blood curdle.
Yeah.
Seen no talls up in that goal line there.
Well, Andrew Smith he probably would have only been 35, 40 out, Bob.
Yes, he would.
And the kick didn't even make the distance. I think everyone presumed he would. But a goal to Dwyer, a steadying one for Vermont, and they needed that one because East Burwood had skipped away to a handy lead. Now back in the ruck. Hall wins it down, but Cameron Houghton steals it towards Travis Edwards. He grabs it, slips around, gets a hand pass back towards Coughlin. Coughlin will double round. Oh, he took a little while. Here's a chance for a turnover. Nummy, can he run onto it? Yes, he'll get the hand pass there to Lee Rowe. Rowe, hand pass ineffective. Martin swoops on it, runs in looking for Wind on the lead, but he's got Dean. Cameron Dean runs in from close range and goals. Cameron Dean for his second goal for East Burwood. And East Burwood are 5-3-33 to Vermont 2-3-15.
Wow.
Well, Cameron Dean has just been terrific, really, with the way he read that.
He's having a major effect on the game, isn't he?
Also, Cameron Hotton's been excellent in that midfield through there, getting the drive.
Travis Edwards is down there.
Yeah, poor hand pass from Lee Rowe there.
Yes.
From Vermont. Australia. It allowed Martin to run onto it, kick inside 50 and result in the goal.
Okay, East Burwood keeping the pressure on here. 3 goals for the quarter to East Burwood, 1-1 Vermont, as umpire Mark Lawson puts us back into action. Off the top of the pack, Hotton got it across there to Coughlin. Derek it was. Goldsworthy in hot pursuit. Edwards for Vermont chasing him. Goldsworthy comes up with it, forces the ball along ahead of him. Now it's a races on again. Vermont now in front. Players falling over each other. Edwards
is coming off.
Yes, he is. Hotton at the back of the pack. Ball spills. Hotton's clear. He's got Derek Coughlin behind him. Will he go back that way? No, he decides to go to Slater further down the ground. Slater squares it up back towards the corner of the centre square. And there's a good mark to the Vermont player in Holmes. Holmes now decides to square it up into the centre of this vast arena here at Waverley Park, and I think it's Neil has taken the mark. Oh, player down behind play there.
Dobell.
There is a little bit on.
Oh,
if the right one don't get to the left one will. It's on down here.
Anyway, it's a free kick down. Yeah, Dobell's just came on the ground, and
it was a snipe from behind.
It was actually Mr. Frankish, I believe.
Well,
but anyway.
Okay, the play's gone down the ground. Vermont lining up for goal number 3, and it's still on behind play here. Umpires have got their hands full.
Dwyer with a shot for goal for Vermont, 20 metres out.
Dwyer kicks it on the left. Umpire doesn't move. That's a goal. 3 goals on the board to Vermont, and second goal to Andrew Dwyer.
It was Frankie's a la kicker style.
Yeah, it was.
But he wasn't too brave the way he attacked Dobell, I might say.
No, there's players
okay, the umpire's got the card up, guys. Did you see what colour that one was?
Didn't. No,
he's showing a player off the ground.
We'll soon find out what they're going to sort out for this.
It could be Adam Slater.
Could be Adam Slater having a rest. Oh!
Well, Adam Slater's certainly got the fans up. And the big crowd are playing to it. Hey!
Big slates. Colourful character.
Colourful character.
It certainly is.
Was it?
It's a passionate game, footy.
Here's the bell will come off too. He's holding his
ear.
Yes, he just come onto the ground as Steve Parsons. We saw it, and yes. Now, did we see with Slater? Was that a?
Yeah, he's retaliating against what happened.
Yeah, it's just a yellow card for Slater.
No, I didn't see what colour card it was, but the bell's only been on there 30 seconds.
Okay, Chad Nielsen is one of the ones coming back onto the ground.
Now, Hart Dwyer got his second goal for Vermont, and they're back in range again now. Only 2 goals of difference.
Okay, the umpires have got the situation under control here, and umpire Bart Marskant at the 14-minute mark puts the Colac Sharon up again. Tennant in the ruck now for East Burwood, with Slater going off the ground. Hotton goes forward for East Burwood with hands. Dean forces the ball wide. Cowell it is, yeah. Coughlin. Ben Ping.
Jason Smith.
Jason for Vermont to take the free. Just back from the centre square. Decides to go in short there and finds Holmes. Vermont in the centre of the ground. Go wide out here to the half-forward flank. Ball to the front of the pack. Boy, she's hard in there. That was a bit of an up and under on that occasion from Rees, but it hits the 50-metre line, and Alan Richardson has taken the mark. One Slater might have tried to square up for the other on that occasion. And Derek Coughlin takes it for East Burwood. A short little kick in there. He was looking for Dean, but it didn't work. Vermont chip in, and Vermont into 50. But Derek Coughlin again with that little chip kick into the centre of the ground. He's looking for Goldsworthy and found him. Hands off to Derek Coughlin. Good running, Derek Coughlin, but he turns that over. This is unbelievable. Ball back to the far end of the centre square. Brad Hall couldn't take it for Vermont, but bursting through the pack there for Vermont is Holmes. Holmes goes long to the top of the goal square. 2 players wrestling there on that occasion. It's tight in there. Forced through off hands, and just the one behind.
Hard footy.
16 minutes in the quarter. East Burwood 5-3-33 leading Vermont 3-4-22.
Thanks, Bob. And Vermont just played a lot better football in the last 5 minutes, Stephen. A couple of goals get them back in range after East Burwood had skipped away to a a fairly handy lead.
Yeah, they fought their way back in, literally.
Kick out from full-back from Jason Coughlin for... we've got a grand final here. It's at everything. Tennant on the lead will mark at half-back.
Well, Tennant's got some work to do now, guys,
Yeah.
with Big Slater off the ground.
Slater's off and Tennant on the ruck duties. From half-back, kicks a long one out to centre wing. Up they find a great mark to Brendan Hislop. Up and running, away he goes from centre wing. Ooh, stabbed like pass, but it's too hard. Hall will get it, hands off there to there Lee Rowe. Rowe goes long to centre half forward. Tennant works Rees off, but well done by Arthurson getting back. Oh, but Hart Dwyer hands off to Matt Smith out there. He's got the ball with inside 30 on his left foot. This looks pretty good from Matt Smith for Vermont, and he's got it. Yep, Matt Smith for his first goal for Vermont.
Good game in our hands.
Certainly have, Steve. Yeah, great play, and as I mentioned, it was Matt Smith, but good play there from the Vermont forward line to keep it in, and they've lifted their tempo and they're right back into this. Vermont 4-4-28, trailing East Burwood 5-3-33.
Gee, there's no big pardons out there, Jeff.
Certainly not, Bob. No, it's just...
Coughlin's coming off.
Oh, there's another blow.
He saw too.
Gee. Hall in the ruck gets it down. Vermont with a bit of a sniff. They're back in this, only 5 points down. Working hard, kick out to half-back. Chance for there. Oh, well, intelligent play there over top to Barlow, but he couldn't pick it up there. Cow will intercept it, works it off, but good tackle there from Vermont. Martin on hands and knees will get it to Cow. Outside 50, goes deep in the pocket for Wine and has him just inside the line, Stewie Wine. Only about 35 out, but he's right on. He's going to play on straight away, make the angle better. Looks good. This looks good from Stewie Wine. He's put it straight through the middle. Stuart Wine for his second goal, and East Burwood 6-3-39 to Vermont 4-4-28.
That became set play stuff, Steve, didn't it?
Yeah, it was great play.
Yeah. Excellent play. It was good work from Cowell at half forward. Also Ashley Martin got the hand pass. Yeah, so...
18.5 minutes in, Jeff. East Burwood 6-3-39, leading Vermont 4-4-28.
Yeah, there's still nothing in this, Bob, isn't there? They've got a handy lead, 11 points, but really nothing in the game. 18.5 minutes, umpire Mark Lawson. What has been a fantastic half of football, getting near the end of it. Hall to Jason Smith, but he's going nowhere. We'll have another one at Greg Coughlin there. Derek, and we noticed Jason Coughlin came off Stephen, limping pretty badly.
Yeah, we did. There's a handy replacement for Travis Edwards, so I said Lampool running up down there, so interested to see what happens with him after half time.
Could be a last man standing affair in the last quarter of this one.
Well be.
Out the back, here's a chance for Vermont. Nummy's kick smothered, well done by Edwards, works off, gets it back to Derek Coughlin, who's had a good spell in this second quarter. He's got Sassman out there alone, and Marks at centre wing, 2 bounces, runs up to half forward, hesitate to Nielsen. Nielsen inboard to Goldsworthy, just outside 50, pops it up for Hislop, top of the square. Can he mark it? Can he get it on the rebound? Hislop, turn around, hook around his body. Let's have a look. He likes it. We'll wait on it. We'll wait on the goal umpire. Hislop has got it. Hislop's second goal. And the way he did that, Stevie, just real cool. He had 3 defenders, Bob, didn't he? But he just, the way he just...
Well, he did, Jeff, and East Burwood are keeping the pressure on again. That's 5 goals straight for the quarter, and Vermont 3-2, and we're at the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, just very cool, Steve. There.
He kept his front position well, held exactly. It strong, brought the ball down in front of him and kept it off beautifully.
At the 20-minute mark, the ball back in the centre. This is one of the great grand finals. Ball bounced up in the centre again. Slater on that occasion got the knock. East Burwood go forward. Here we go. It's Witcher goes forward right to the top of the square, but it's a Vermont mark right up on the goal line, and it's Todd Power. Todd Power's taken it. Great mark. Power now goes to the outer side, half-back flank, and he's, I was going to say he found Smith. He didn't. Smith couldn't take it. East Burwood come back into attack. Long into 50 on that occasion. Will it bounce? Yeah! That's a goal!
Goldsworthy.
Great goal! 6 goals. 6 goals straight for the quarter to East Burwood. 3 goals, 2 to Vermont. And at the 21-minute mark, we've got East Burwood 8-3-51, leading Vermont 4-4-28.
Well, Goldsworthy's been a good player in that wing in all first half, hasn't he?
Very
Especially this second quarter, Stu.
Got a very penetrating foot, hasn't he?
Well, it was Jason Smith, guys, on that occasion that just couldn't quite take the mark. We're not being critical of him, just the fact of life, and Goldsworthy coming in and just capitalising on that. Ball up in the centre again. Luke Slater in the ruck, gets it out. Hands off there by Martin. East Burwood going forward. Derry Coughlin on that occasion, spinning around with his Witcher. He's been in everything in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game. Forward to Sassman. Sassman's out by himself. Can he pick this bouncing ball up? Yes, he does. Gets it off to Goldsworthy. Goldsworthy goes in the 50 looking for Wine, and he's found Wine on the 50. Wine now gets around. I don't know who he was looking for on that occasion, but that wasn't a good option. Hislop from the back of the pack with a punch, pushed it over the boundary line and out of bounds for a throw in about 10 to 15 minutes, metres around from that right-hand side goalpost. 22 minutes coming up in the quarter. East Burwood 8-3-51, leading Vermont 4-4-28.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, East Burwood just skipped away in this last couple of minutes. They have a handy lead, 23 points, approaching half-time after Vermont had bounced back with a couple of goals. Neil out of the ruck. A lot of pressure from there. Sassman in at ground level, forced towards the boundary line, but Neil will get it and kick a long ball there towards Derek Coughlin, who's been a good player in this second quarter. Well done, helped out there by Goldsworthy again. Hooks it back into Cameron Dean, who will mark. They're running now, East Burwood, off to Derek Coughlin. High ball to centre half forward. Nielsen in front. Couldn't mark it. Thumped down to Edwards. Travis Edwards does well, breaks a tackle inside 50, but his kick smothered. This might be Goldsworthy again.
Yay!
Another shot on goal. It's hit the post. It was Goldsworthy again. Hit the post, and another point to East Burwood.
That's the first behind for the quarter to East Burwood. 6-1 for the quarter. Vermont 3-2.
8-4-52 to Vermont 4-4-28. It was Nick Tennant actually out in that wing there that got the ball back. Long kick outside 50. Oh, there's a big fly over the back from Vermont. They'll get the crumbs at ground level. Kick a high ball, and here will be Holmes. Marks and off to Dwyer running, kicks long. Here's Edwards versus Rees. Ball doesn't get in, they alert it. Rees goes in and Edwards too. Travis Edwards did well to tie it up. Just wide of centre half forward for Vermont.
Jeff, for the people watching this tonight or on the TV on the Saturday morning, these two teams have been in combat since 1962 when the EDFL was formed. 37 premierships have been played. These two have won 25 of those 37 between them.
Amazing, isn't it? 25 out of 37 premierships.
Vermont 14, East Burwood 11.
There we go at the back. Tennant works it out there to Martin over the top. They've got numbers spare and run away from centre wing. Kick a long one into half forward, looking for Witcher at the back, thumps it down. In they go hard there, and we'll have a free kick to Vermont out there. It'll go there to Lee Rowe. Lee Rowe, left half back for Vermont. Winding down to half-time, wobbly old kick off the boot. Edwards stumps it away at the back, down to ground level. There it was Dwyer, kicks it to Gordon. Williamson beats into it, and they're on top at the moment, East Burwood, and he forces it out, and Williamson forces it out of bounds for a throw-in on the outer side.
Williamson was like a cat then, Jeff. He was just watching which way that ball was bouncing, and he was prepared to just go either way.
See Paul Barlow up forward now. Just tripped up forward, but Cow's watching him. Tennant in the ruck. Goes well, picked off by Brad Neal. There towards Gordon. He runs around there and hook it back into centre forward, looking for Cullen and Martin. Cullen couldn't get it off hands. Chance there for, that was Smith for Vermont. Well done by Rees to Jason Smith. Off to Cullen. Cullen off one step. Long shot across the face there. And is it marked there to Harris? No, it's not. Right near the boundary line, and it's out of bounds for a throw-in. Right beside the point post. Another change coming up for Vermont. We see Henderson back on, replacing Lee Rowe. A throw in. Vermont need to get one back before half-time. Neal tries to get out of the ruck. He goes in again. Worked out. Tennant back there. Richardson, Alan Richardson, cool from back pocket, goes long out there. Goldsworthy at the back. Lee market. No, he won't be able to have time to recover. Feed it off to Houghton. Houghton will turn around at half-back. Kick to centre wing, looking for Sassman in front, but he's pushed off the ball there. And yes, it is, and a free kick will go to Sassman. Brad Sassman on true centre wing on that outer side of the ground. 8-3, 8-4, plays 4-4. 4 goals in at East Burwood's way.
Lamp was coming back on.
Lample getting Andrew Lample, the captain of Vermont. Long kick there, thumped away. Oh, there's a good mark there. That would be back there. So Toddy Power, terrific mark there. Now he has, look out, he's got Barlow under pressure. Here's a chance at ground level for a free kick. Will go back to Vermont there. Fed off to Cullen. Cullen, that is Mark. Goes there, he's got Lample straight on the ground. Marks at centre wing. Hooks it in, but ill-directed. No one there. They've got plenty of time. Derek Coghlan, who's had a really good second quarter. Beautiful play, but and through comes Rees. But Richo comes out. Cowell alone at centre wing. Has time to mark and run on. He'll go long, looking for Nielsen on the lead. Oh, crashes through.
Well, I didn't intend him. Chad Nielsen, he got up.
That was opposed to Simon Frankish.
Whoa. I'm dead set sure it's safer up here. Okay, 27 minutes into the quarter. 8-4-52 leads Vermont 4-4-28. It's tight in there. Dwyer gets a handball across the PB, and there he goes on the left down to the half-forward flank position. Then it's a good mark to the Vermont player in Smith. Matt Smith decides to go short in there. I noticed the PB with the lights there. He couldn't see through it as the siren sounds to end the second quarter. And we have East Burwood 8-4-52 leading Vermont 4-4-28.
Thank you, Bob. And Steve Parsons, your thoughts on the first half?
I think it's been a very interesting tussle. I played Vermont a couple of times. They've got fairly physical with East Burwood, and when they've done that on two occasions, I've seen they've caught them off guard and got a run on. And after that, then East Burwood have settled down and clearly got on the top. I think Goldsworthy in that wing, they put Dwyer on into, Matty Edwards on into try and extend the tie, but they just didn't know where he was half the time. He's a very dangerous player, and the other guy for East Burwood was Brad Dean.
Cameron Dean.
Cameron Dean, he's been very good.
Hotton's been solid through the middle, Cameron
solid.
Hotton.
Yeah, and then Derek Codlin, he's got plenty of poise and he's been fantastic. I think with that bunch of guys all around mid-range there, they've been great. And but Vermont can still come back at them. I mean, they just got to continue to play a run-on game of footy.
Yeah, 4 goals in it, and I do agree with you, Stephen. I think it's the East Burwood midfield. Tennant did a good job replacing Adam Slater in the ruck, but it was their running players. Cameron Dean, Derek Coghlan, excellent, as Stephen Parson mentioned, a lot of poise. He got a lot of possessions in that second quarter. Goldsworthy was excellent on the wing. Cameron Dean continued his form from the first quarter, and all in all they had more options up forward. Stewie Wine with 2, Cameron Dean's drifted down, Martin has 1 goal, and Hislop's played a good game up forward as a bit of a roving commission there with 2 goals.
Yes, Jeff. One of the things I think about the East Burwood side is that Derek Coghlan to a large extent is the engine room. When he's playing well, players come in around him. And look, he's just a beautiful player to watch. He sidesteps the packs and goes forward. He's playing a great game tonight.
Certainly is. All right, well, we'll be back for the second half, and at half-time in this EFL First Division Grand Final, we have East Burwood 8-4-52, 4 goals up on Vermont 4-4-28, and we'll be back shortly with the second half. Welcome back to the start of the second half of the First Division Grand Final, creating history under lights for the first time a night Grand Final. And at half-time in this EFL First Division clash, it's East Burwood with a 4-goal lead. They lead 8-4-52 to Vermont 4-4-28. And Steve Parsons, well, we had a half that had everything, really. It was tough at the start. It was tough physical football. We've had a few fiery incidents, and East Burwood just got on top through midfield and up forward in that second quarter.
Yeah, they ran the ball very well, and they were very desperate, and they had some clear winners. So the ball's back in Vermont's court. If they want to get back into the game, they've got to stand up and be counted and dominate the corridor and start running, and if they do that, they may get back into the game.
Umpire Mark Lawson ready to get us underway, and Bob Young kick us off for this second half.
Okay, well, Luke Slater in the ruck because Adam Slater has still got some of his 15 minutes to spend on the sidelines. Hall in the ruck for Vermont. Vermont to go forward from that centre bounce on that occasion. Nothing really happening. Coghlan, it was Derry, got the ball out.
Tennant.
East Burwood going forward through Tennant there. East Burwood still going forward through the centre of the ground, down to the half-forward line. East Burwood player pushed out. That'll be a free. And that's Cowell, Justin Cowell. 70 metres out from goal. Oh, Justin, you should be looking at that. Perching in for Vermont there is Lamprell, the captain. He shoots it up there to Rowe. Rowe now dodges one around. The little daisy cutter in. There's a good mark.
Good mark. Harris.
Absolutely.
Good pass from Lee Rowe too.
Vermont into action very quickly. 55 seconds.
What they need to goal, if you can, he's a long way out, but they need a goal like that to lift them.
Well, here we go. We had to have one, didn't we?
Here we go.
Across the 50-metre line of streaker.
It's wide on that.
There we go.
It's wide on that occasion. Vermont have just kicked the behind.
and furthermore, I think he's going to get away with it.
And the only problem is there's no security. He's gone over to the.
He's stopped at the
He's having a
trainer's
drink of the
box, having a
trainer's drink. It's right now.
He was going right till he got umbrage with the trainer.
He's the kick out.
Okay, the East Burwood coming back in, and Tennant has taken the ball on the half-back flank. Gets the ball back to Richardson. Richardson's all football.
Oh, the security guards are getting the game here.
Umpire, stop it until this all happens. The
Laurel
Vermont
Hardy
players
running
on the
and
centre wing there. This is unbelievable. Umpire Bart Marscan has finally stopped play.
Oh.
He's up and over. Oh, I don't want to be him when they catch him.
Okay, the ball bounced
He's up into the breaches.
Ball bounced on centre wing. Play goes on. East Burwood to come in to attack it. I think it's Houghton forcing the ball down into the 50. Looking for Wine. Wine caught out of sorts on that occasion. The East Burwood player dragged to the ground. Vermont going hard here. Boy, this is going to be one quarter of football. Half forward flank now, Members side. Who's going to come up with the ball? Edwards for East Burwood, trying hard. Wine couldn't take it. Rees for Vermont goes short, and he finds Nummy. Oh, no, sorry, Matt D. Smith it is. Vermont going short. Okay, Brad Hall spills the mark. Slater in on top. Ball up.
Great work.
And gets the kick.
Absolutely, very popular player. Travis Edwards now for East Burwood goes forward to the half-forward line, commentary position. Sassman under it on that occasion. Sassman with the front running here, in and under. Good effort by Sassman. Boy, it's tough in there. Derek Coughlin from behind, trying to force the ball out. Couldn't do it. The umpire will come in and ball it up. 3 minutes and 15 seconds into the third quarter. East Burwood 8-4-52. Lead Vermont 4-5-29.
Thanks, Bob. Well, we had an exciting first half. We had an exciting start to the second half. It's all happening. I think that pass was meant for those security who were sprinting across the ground. Another ball up here. 8-4-52 East Burwood to Vermont 4-5-29.
The pace of the security cards are going across. There's a chance for all of us yet.
And just to add to it, we've got Adam Slater ready to come back on. Well, we've got everything. Bursting through with Smith. Oh, his lock taken high. And
he's still got a neck.
That was by Smithy. Off to Derek Coughlin, been an excellent play. Wobbles it to half forward. Half volley coming out. Henderson couldn't get it. Met there solidly through Houghton. Works the ball out, but Henderson will come across half back for Vermont and kick wide out to that outer side. And mark out there for there's a 25-metre penalty against the East Burwood. Might be Lee Rowe that's run off there. No, he'll have to go back over his mark. Yeah, it was Lee Rowe. And he'll kick from inside the centre square, and Adam Slater getting ready to come back on, and Nielsen will come off to replace him. There's a kick from Lee Rowe, deep inside 50, pack forward on up the front. Harris nearly had it down. Rees at ground level, twisting, going backwards. Out there, little one into the pocket, but it'll be chopped off by Luke Slater, and he's done an excellent job and thumped it out of bounds. As we see Adam Slater come back on the ground. Nearly at the 5-minute mark. No goals yet in this, only 1 point
just
to
the one
Vermont.
behind you. 5 minutes in.
5 minutes in over boundary throwing. Right half forward for Vermont. Neal Slater gets it down well. Rees works under there, but we'll have another ball up there. Which he half forward for Vermont.
It's interesting, Barlow started on interchange at the start of this quarter. Barlow, Jones and Gordon. Three pretty handy players.
And Adam Slater has gone straight to full forward. Stewie Wine probably centre half forward.
Yeah, Tennant knocked it out. Big pack forms on it. In they go there. Kick round the corner across the face of goal. Here's a chance for bounces out of bounds. And we see Coghlan in front of Williamson.
Jason
and
Coghlan
Harris
warming up as well.
Yeah, he looks okay. So Lamprell back on, Barlow off for Vermont.
A bit of confusion there in the Vermont camp. They're bringing Lamprell off, but I think they're a tad confused here.
Tennant in front. Oh, Brad Neal takes out the ruck. Shot on goal. Just the wrong side. Gee, that would have been a handy one. He took it out, nudged out Tennant and took it out of the ruck but missed. Vermont 4-6-30. East Burwood 8-4-52.
22 points in the game. We're at the 6-minute mark of the quarter now, and Alan Richardson to bring the ball back in for the East Burwood side. Richo decides to go short over there looking for Brad Smith. Too long for Brad Smith, close to the boundary line. Can Smith pick it up? Yeah, he gets hands on it. Short kick there to Luke Slater, coming down right in front of him. Corner in position, there's 25. Hands off. Umpire, no, he's got to come back. Got to come back.
Against Darren Nummy there.
Silly play, really.
Okay, so Slater, Lucas takes the ball. He decides to square it up to the centre of the ground. That's a pretty good pass, actually. Finds Houghton.
Play on. He's
Play
gone.
on.
He's gone.
Out the back.
Richardson.
Look at that. Bang, down, right into 50. That's a good kick. I was going to say Vermont Mark. It wasn't. Stewie Wine couldn't take it for East Burwood. Coming out there too, Martin. Whoa, that's hot. Houghton is gone.
No, it's Slater.
No, Slater. He's gone. A free kick to Vermont. It'll go to Todd Power.
In the war's big Slater.
Is he? Okay, Todd Power to come off that half-back line. Played 7.5 minutes in, 8-4-52, East Burwood, 4-6-30, Vermont. Up to the commentary position here on the wing. Houghton from the back of the pack, posted forward. The bounce beats all players. Goldsworthy over the top. Comes out here to Witcher. Witcher goes bang to the top of the square. Can he find an East Burwood player? No, he can't. Being forced through, I think it's going to go through for a point off hands and just the one behind to East Burwood. So that is 2 points now to Vermont for the quarter. 1 point to East Burwood, and we're at the 8-minute mark.
Well, Steve, you'd think, the next goal is crucial for Vermont, isn't it? It's
yes.
Real stalemate the first 8 minutes of this quarter, no goals, and they really need to get a couple to spark themselves to get back into this.
They need to start to make a move now.
Yeah.
Okay, which way are Vermont going to go on this occasion? There's a few leads coming to the members' side over here. I think he's going to come out here looking for Todd Power. He's going in that direction. Goldsworthy at the back of the pack, forces the ball forward. Good running Goldsworthy. Look at him go. Bang. Whoa! Let himself down with a horrible kick. Missed everything. And over the boundary line on the full. And the Vermont player in Henderson to take the free. Just trying that little bit too hard there, Steve, I think.
Yeah, on the wrong side of his body.
Sure.
At full pace, but he's been a great player.
Henderson to bring the ball back into Vermont. Good kick. Down here to centre wing position. Oh, Cowell at the back of the pack couldn't pull it in. But this little fella, Dean, grabs it. Left foot, right into 50. Witcher trying hard, but it's a Vermont mark or free. And it will go there to Nummy. Nummy now to go wide. Switches the play over there. Cullen, Brad on this occasion. He'll run. One bounce. He can take another one if he wants to. Yes, he does. Now he's got to get rid of it because he's hot. Half forward line, just into 50. Richardson. Excellent mark.
Against him.
Against him. Push the player out.
Dwyer will get the free kick.
Okay, so Dwyer to take the kick from 50. Out of side. 9 minutes in. 2 points Vermont. 1 point East Burwood this quarter. Andrew Dwyer, an absolute legend at the Vermont Football Club. 300, how many games was it, Jeff?
32.
232 games. Record holder. Cullen again out by himself. Brad. Whoa! Over the top was Dean.
High tackle.
And that's got to be a free kick. So Cullen, Brad is on the centre wing outer side. The fizz has just gone off this game a little bit, I think.
Yeah, there's a bit.
Cullen taking his time. Decides to shoot in. And has found a player over there, just can't quite pick him up at the moment. Ashley Martin on the mark. Vermont now going forward into 50. Tennant, can he take the grab? No, he can't, but Williamson does for East Burwood, and he'll head across goal now. Switches play. Oh, look at this, a 1-on-2 situation. Puts Cowell right under the pump. Cowell's got to butter up here. Can he? It's still 2 on 1. Bang, handball back there for Vermont. Vermont with a kick towards Golden Eel it was, but it's wide, over the boundary line and out of bounds. The 10, nearly 11-minute mark of the quarter. East Burwood 8-5, 53 leading Vermont 4-6-30.
Big Neil's got to turn in circle like the Queen Mary.
Yes, the handball came in from Simon Frankish into Neil, but his kick missed. Now the kick out will come out to Williamson. We'll feed it off to Richardson. He'll have time to come back across goals and find Cowell in the back pocket. Yeah, certainly. He'll go a little one into Edwards at centre half back. So they're just chipping it around over the top towards Houghton. This could be a turnover. Through came Smith for Vermont, but East Burwood are able to recover it. Here's Sprad Smith, and he goes out wide, and he's got number out there. It doesn't sit for them nicely there. Chance for East Burwood. Well done there. Kick a long ball inside 50, looking for Witcher at the back. He couldn't get it. Down at ground level is Martin. He couldn't get it. Power dives in there. Free kick, no play on, says the umpire. They dive in on it, and we'll have a ball up just wide of centre half forward.
I think it may have been Adam Williamson that pushed the ball down into 50 then.
Was it? Yeah, on that outer side, yeah. Just couldn't pick him up there. Thanks, Bob. And we have a ball up at centre half forward for East Burwood. Tapped down by Barlow. Then surely there's a free kick there. It will go to Matt D. Smith.
Again, Sassman had him too high.
He off to Matt Smith. Into Nummy by hands. A little one there has found Henderson. They've got runners. Matt Smith has followed up. He's gone to centre wing. This looks better for Vermont. In there to Dwyer. He couldn't mark it. There was a mark there, or
yeah, someone's down.
Yeah, it's East Burwood.
Yeah, he's bad.
No, is it Houghton?
No, it's Arthurson, I think.
Anyway, Andrew Dwyer for Vermont has the kick.
That's a grand final. Stevie's going to get to his feet.
Yeah, just looked a bit worse
Yeah,
than
it was Arthurson. Anyway, 13-minute mark of this First Division Grand Final. Andrew Dwyer, club games record holder for Vermont, will kick from right on 50 or just inside. Now they need this one. They need a goal to spark themselves. In he comes. Long way out. Long shot at goal. Reach nearly to the line. Up they fly. Neil over top. But a good mark in front there to Slater. And he's played an excellent game, Luke Slater there. Little one over top to Richardson. Oh, he couldn't hold it one-handed. And they'll tie it up here as a ball up.
It's coming off the ground,
Arthurson, and we'll see Nielsen replace him. Yeah, a lot of the sting's gone, as you mentioned, Bob. A lot of the sting's gone out of the game. It's a fiery first half. They're going at a cracking pace. Edwards off to Richardson along the boundary line. Little one, Witcher, half-back will mark. Just chipping the ball around East Burwood at the moment. Witcher, right half-back for East Burwood. Nothing on offer, so he'll kick a long one to centre wing. Houghton will, better judgment, took a good mark. He has runners, no, he'll go back. He's got streaming through the mill. Here's runners. Brad Smith has made a good run, but it won't sit for him. Oh, now Benz did well, Brad Smith, to recover there. 2-on-1 against Dwyer. He goes in there, gets it back there to Richardson. Back to Smith. Smith out to Nielsen. Tennant supporting, but the hand pass doesn't get the target, but they got time. Backwards by Tennant to Nielsen, who followed up in support. A little one long up to half forward, and there's a good mark out there for East Burwood on that outer side, right on that centre wing.
Gee, it's run, talk and support, isn't it? That's the way they play it.
It certainly is there. The kicked Power comes over and thumps it down. Travis Edwards at ground level couldn't get it. In they go, and we'll have a ball up on that outer side centre wing.
Gee, Jeff, it's still a very low scoring quarter. We're 15 minutes in. Vermont 2 behind, East Burwood 1 behind.
Yeah, no goals. It's just the cracking pace of the first half might have taken its toll.
Jason Smith about to come on to Vermont.
Okay, Martin backs out, but here's Vermont. Chance there. Is that a free kick? Yes, it will be. Go out there to Vermont to Rees. Paul Rees has the free kick at centre wing on that outer side. Looking for Neil to lead. He breaks now. Now he waits. Just nothing on offer for him now. He go up towards Brad Cullen, but it's missed the target, and he saved it from out in the full, but the kicking, Steve's been pretty poor in this. They're missing a lot of targets.
Yeah, it's been on. Just watching the interchange bench of Vermont's, and Their vice-captain's just come off. Barlow was on and off, and Lamp was on and off.
Interesting one, that, yeah.
One would think if they're good enough to go back on and off, I mean, they're the experienced players.
Yep,
they're going to need
agreed.
them to get them back in the game.
Yep, it's just been a real stalemate. We've had nearly 16 minutes without no goals. Out the other side from Tennant to Travis Edwards, and he's marked there at centre wing. Now he runs off too easily. Away he goes. One bounce, two bounces. Now he'll have another one. He better. He has three. He's got Nielsen on, but he's run right in the centre ground. Gone long. He's got Cameron Dean if it sits for him. But well done by Vermont to come across there. The hand pass will come out to Hall. Hall lost it. Followed up again, but we'll get the free kick. That was good play from... actually, it was Frankie's that did what defending there. Got the hand pass over to Brad Hall. And Brad Hall has the free kick at half-back for Vermont.
Guys, the other thing I've been thinking about, whilst East Burwood are still holding this lead, which is 23 points, I think it's about a quarter and a half since Stewie Wines had a kick, isn't it?
Been a while. The kick out will come out to Matt Smith for...
There's not much too much offer
No,
coming forward for Vermont, is there? There's not much on offer there. Consequently, you've got to chip it forward, I'm sure.
Mark Cullen at half-back. Just nothing happening. It's just wait for one side to spark here. Vermont, they've had plenty of the ball, but just can't break through the barrier. Todd Powers followed up. Here might be a chance. He runs a centre wing, kicks deep inside 50. Dwyer rises. Oh, here's a chance. Ground level, Rees on the boundary line. Hooks it back. Oh, it's hit the post. Oh, Paul Rees, a great effort.
Great effort, wasn't it?
From a long way out, and a point to Rees and Vermont. They are 4-7-31. East Burwood 8-5-53.
17 minutes into the quarter. Vermont under the pump here. East Burwood to bring it back in. Richardson decides to go to the outer side. And I think it's Edwards over there. Has taken the mark. Just inside the boundary. Edwards now goes long. He's got Sassman out in front. Ball beats Sassman. It may be Burgiel over there for Vermont on the ground, is it? Looked like him. Backing back is Houghton. Oh, strong Houghton on that occasion. Vermont to go into 50. Sitting at the back of the pack was Edwards and Richardson. Neither could mark it. Vermont going forward now. But Dwyer was, but Williamson for East Burwood sitting back on the last line of defence takes a timely mark. East Burwood now coming forward towards our commentary position here, but the ball's wide. Over it goes, and the umpire will throw it in at the 18-minute mark of the quarter. East Burwood 8-5-53 to Vermont 4-7-31. 3 behinds for the quarter to Vermont, just the one solitary behind for East Burwood. It's a real arm wrestle third quarter. Tennant in the ruck for East Burwood, couldn't get it out. Vermont on the run now here through Edwards. He'll square it up to the top of the goal square, right into the corridor up there. Richardson in front for East Burwood. Well done. Look at his second and third efforts there. Locked it up. East Burwood now, it's desperate in there. A chip shot around by Cullen. But East Burwood will clear it. Cowell now in defence, goes long. Looking over here for Daybell. He tries to trap the ball. It was just a little bit too far out in front of him, but nevertheless a good effort. Holmes picks it up for Vermont, goes into the 50, and a mark to the Vermont side. Right on that 50, and I can't quite pick the player up at this stage.
Neil,
right.
I think.
Neil? Yes, it was Neil. Goes right to the top of the square. Punched over there by Williamson. East Burwood player taking to the ground was probably Nielsen. Umpire has blown the whistle, and it will be an East Burwood free. East Burwood now to switch the play. Coming back here looking for Luke Slater. Slater. Boy, off the ground, anything does in a grand final, doesn't it? Whoa! 2 Vermont players that collided, and Barlow has knocked his mate clean out. Vermont player on the ground. Stewie Wine trying hard for East Burwood. Boy, is tough in there. Trainers out to the player. Barlow backs up, gets it across to Smith. Jason. Can he swing it around? Tries to outrun the player, and Richardson. No, he doesn't. Umpire has pinged him. Oh, stretchy coming out for this Vermont player, and I think it might be Henderson.
Chris Henderson.
Sensational play from Alan Richardson. Boy, he's been terrific as a leader.
Unbelievable. He's the general, Jeff,
yeah,
isn't
what
he?
a great tackle. Yeah, they'll just have
Umpire's
to
got to stop
the
it,
game.
stretcher. Well, that was an unfortunate incident there with... was it Barlow or Todd Power? Barlow.
I'm sure, didn't.
No, it might have been Todd Power. I'm not too sure now, thinking back on it. Very unfortunate incident. Okay, the nearly 20.5 minute mark of the quarter. Eastbourne 8-5-53, leading Vermont 4-7-31.
Well, it's been Steve Parsons, been a funny third quarter, hasn't it? It's been just like a game of keepings off. We've had no goals scored at all.
I just think Vermont have picked their rate up a little bit.
They have.
They've picked up a tad, and I think if they can maintain it and even get just another goal before three-quarter time, it sets a scene for a pretty good last quarter.
It does, because I think they've lifted. I agree with you. They've lifted their work rate. They've just had it inside 50 lots of times, but just haven't been able to finish it off. If they could get 1 or 2 goals for the quarter late and win the quarter, that gives them the momentum going into the three-quarter time, because they've certainly worked hard. East Burwood certainly, I know players are tired, but East Burwood have only kicked 1 point for the quarter, so they've been pretty. Vermont certainly been Vermont with more use of the ball, but they've just struggled to convert.
This lad's not well down there. It looks like a head injury. Just while the stretch is on the ground, let's turn the clock back to the start of the year, guys, to see what the coaches actually said. And Alan Richardson said of East Burwood, after losing the Hoolahans, Hottons and Williams, it's going to be an enormous challenge for the club to replace these guys, and I think we'll have to come from within. We're pretty confident with the group that we've got, and we're going to be a pretty tough side to beat. Well, I think that pretty much what we've seen tonight is everything he said then.
Well, they have. Look, they've been the top side all year. A surprise, not a surprise loss. Well, they didn't play well in the second semi-final against Vermont at the Ringwood Football Ground, but to their credit, they had a tough clash with Bayswater last week, where they only got out of jail in the last 2 kicks of the game against Bayswater, and certainly they've been the better side so far in this grand final. But at the same time, Steve, East Burwood, you think, really haven't killed off Vermont yet?
No, they haven't yet. They've missed a few easy shots at goals, and they've not taken the game by the throat in this third quarter, and they're allowing Vermont to linger with some form of chance.
Okay, for Vermont, Michael Kennedy had this to say before the start of the year. Last year we carried a few blokes that weren't up to it, but we've built up our depth and we're a pretty strong side like we normally are. We're just looking forward to the whole thing starting again. So again, he was pretty confident at the start of the season, and here these two teams are in the grand final.
Yeah, look, it's been a terrific grand final. I suppose when looking in reflection that you'd probably think that it'd have to slow down a bit in the third quarter after the first half. We had everything. We've had fiery clashes, tough, good, honest football, hard at the ball stuff, some great goals in the first half. We've had some highlights from Trout invasions and security guards in a training run where I felt for them actually, Bob and Steve, when they were sprinting there, the ball's heading there, they saw the ball coming towards them, they were sprinting.
I think they realised what they'd done.
Yes.
I just see that obviously the young kids' parents have jumped the fence down there. I hope the boys are all right.
Yeah.
It must be a worrying time for
for young
the
Chris
family
Henderson,
of the lad.
Yes, we certainly hope he's okay.
Well, they're certainly saying to take the stretcher off the ground. Yeah, I endorse those comments too. I hate to see anything like that. It's just one of the unfortunate...
It's unsavoury, isn't it? But just
parts of footy.
Yeah.
Yes, Chris Henderson off. We hope he's okay. And East Burwood, 24-minute mark. We'll have a long quarter here because we've had about a 4-minute hold up. And East Burwood 8-5-53. 22 points up on Vermont, 4-7-31.
Jason Coglan doing some stretches down in front of us here, so he's obviously about to come back onto the ground. And Alan Richardson, if we can wind the clock back about 5 or 7 minutes, is on the left-hand boundary here, half-back flank for East Burwood.
Rewarded for a great tackle on Jason Smith, and has the free kick at half-back.
Umpire signals, ready to start again. So Alan Richardson goes down to Houghton. Houghton was the only one to give him a positive lead, but it's short of Houghton. Tennant caught behind on that occasion. It's a bit of ping-pong. Off the pack there was Edwards with a bit of an up and under kick. It goes down towards the 50, but Houghton, no, it wasn't Houghton, it was Daybell on that occasion, chips in and takes a timely mark. Daybell decides to square it up. Gets it across there to Edwards. Edwards runs off. Gee, good player Edwards. Gets the ball down further. Oh, Dean, he's absolutely attacked with good second effort by Dean. Gets the ball, gets his kick in the finish, going down deep into the 50. Can Stewie wind back up? No, over Stewie Wine's head on that occasion. This little fella comes out. Backing up here is it the Witcher it is. Gets the ball back to the centre half forward. Whoa, over Hislop's head. Bit stiff on that occasion, not too well thought out. Houghton chips in, couldn't take the mark. Pulled off it there by Smith Jason, but Slater comes in, hands across. Gets the ball moving for East Burwood. Doe Bell it was, deep into 50 now. With the run is Dean. Can he pick it up? Yes, he does. Dean has a pot shot, smothered. Dean backs up, good effort. Has another crack at it, but it's a behind. 8-5, 8-6, sorry, 54. East Burwood, 4-7-31 to Vermont.
Holmes has come off for Vermont with an injured leg by the look of it. And Richardson's coming off for Coghlan.
Well, that delay in the play wouldn't have done Richo any good from a cooling down point of view.
No, I just think he'll be just checking on a bit of things coaching-wise. He appeared okay. Edwards at half-back for Vermont has the kick long to centre wing. Cowell in front, down to Goldsworthy, and it's out of bounds.
Goldsworthy saw Brad Neal coming, and then I don't think he tried too hard to keep it in. I don't blame him.
You think Stephen Parsons that a lot of the players have tied with this big round?
Yeah,
just
I
appears
think
that way.
It was a pretty frantic pace in the first half. Very physical.
Doe Bell off to Luke Slater to Goldsworthy by hands, but he's in trouble. Coghlan will help him out. Derrick picks it up, kicks it inside 50. Out they come, and there's a good strong mark to Adam Slater. Out on the lead, oh gee, he's got Cowell alone in the pocket, and he'll mark only 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Inboard there to Witcher. Witcher goes bang from 20 metres out and has the goal for East Burwood's ninth and the first one of the quarter. Well, loose checking there, Steve.
Yeah.
It's too easy. Cowell was allowed to run up into the pocket unattended, and then Witcher was Cowell straight inboard, a little chip pass to Witcher, who goaled from about 25 metres out.
If Vermont aren't careful here and take stock of things, the floodgates could well until they open.
Yep.
East Burwood have got the luxury with Cowell. They can play him half forward or half back, doesn't seem to matter. Plays well both ends of the ground.
Yeah. He's got a great leap on him too.
Hasn't he ever?
I've got a suspicion that he's still carrying a bit of an AC job, so he's doing a great job.
Yeah, here's Gordon back on the ground there. The hand pass will come out through there. It'll come out to Coghlan. Derrick on the right foot, wide to the wing, looking for Martin and Edwards. It beats both of them. Martin first to recover on hands and knees as the siren goes. A short quarter with that hold-up, but at three-quarter time in this first division EFL Grand Final from Waverley under lights, we have East Burwood 9-6-60, leading Vermont by 29 points, 4-7-31, and Bob, the major goal kickers for East Burwood.
2 to Stewie Wind. We've got 2 to Cameron Dean, 2 to Brendan Hislop, and 1 each to Ashley Martin, Justin Wisher, and Chris Goldsworthy. For the Vermont side, we've got 2 to Andrew Dwyer, and 1 each to Matthew Edwards and Matt Smith. Jeff, I was just thinking, you said it was a short quarter. Now, it went just over 28 minutes, but there was no goals kicked prior to that incident with the stretcher.
Good point, yeah.
So whilst there was some time built up there, there wasn't any time taken for goals, so that probably explains that.
And Stephen Parsons, how do you see the last quarter? It appears as though East Burwood on the way to back-to-back premierships.
I think they're very, 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 very likely to get back-to-back premierships. I just don't think, coming forward especially, I don't think Vermont got any purpose, and there's no real target from the kick to. Consequently, they're just chipping short, and then there's a turnover, and off East Burwood go. 3 times there, Travis Edwards took a mark and just left 2 Vermont players in his wake on the mark. They've just gone to sleep. You can't do that in grand finals. You've got to be alert and eager and keen and mentally switched on. And Edwards and Neal and the types of these have left a few of the Vermont boys just stationary. So they'd really have to change the pattern of the game to get themselves back in it. I can't see them doing it.
No, really haven't struggled for a target up forward. Dwyer's been honest with 2 goals up there, Hart Dwyer, but yeah, we just saw, as you're saying, Steve Parsons, that the only goal of the quarter came just near the end through Witcher, and it was just poor checking from Vermont where Cowell was allowed to run down alone in the pocket. He then centred it up for Witcher, and Witcher from about 25 metres gold. And East Burwood on their way to back-to-back premierships at the moment with a 29-point lead at three-quarter time. 9-6-60 to Vermont 4-7-31, and we'll be back with the last quarter of this first division grand final from Waverley for year 2000.
See, all the EFL blokes have done it.
Welcome back to the start of the last quarter at the first division EFL grand final, creating history under lights, the first night grand final, and at 3/4 time we have East Burwood 9-6-60 leading Vermont 4-7-31. Just waiting for the crowd to clear to start this last quarter, where we had East Burwood with a handy lead at half-time, Bob, and they led by, it was 8-4, 4 goals. So they've increased their lead by 5 points, plus 5 in that third quarter, which was a very interesting third quarter, Steve. It was sort of a nothing quarter.
Yeah, it was. They really didn't break away too far, and Vermont made no inroads on them. But first 5 or 6 minutes of this last quarter is going to tell whether Vermont have got any hope at all.
Yep.
They need to get 1 or 2 quick balls out of the centre, put some pressure on East Burwood and see how they all both react.
Just looking for some...
Adam Slater back on the ruck.
Yep, Tennant's back up forward. So Todd Power might have gone up forward for Vermont. He has, full forward. Well, they're throwing things around. They've also got Adam Slater back, but they've also got, looks like it might be Gordon in the ruck for Vermont, and away we go. It is Gordon that wins the first tab, but it's stolen by Derek Coughlin, a high on, up and under the half forward. Stewie Warren crashes through hard. Here's a chance for Witcher. He can't get it. Fed off to Cullen near the boundary line. Does well. Can grab it and run from half back. That is Mark Cullen there. But Travis Edwards, who gives a free kick away here, and it'll be a free kick to Vermont at pushing out the half forward to Paul Rees. Inboard. Oh, dangerous there. Yeah, they'll get away with it over the top. No, they won't. Should have taken the mark there for Vermont was Smith, but he follows it up, goes in here, and Houghton does well. Hand pass to Jason Coughlin back on the ground. He's swamped. Ball spills out. In they go. Fed out the back towards Martin, and now we'll have a ball up. Ball was going nowhere. 50 seconds into this last quarter. And Vermont, Andrew Smith should have taken that mark there over the back, but went back in to try and retrieve it. We have a bandstand. Big pack of players. Slater back in the ruck, taps it out. Here's Matt Smith. Can he break the tackle on Brad Smith from Vermont? No, he can't. Fed through well. It'll come out towards Cullen. Brad. He's got Jason Smith. It's too far for him. Travis Edwards does well. Also there over the back there was Nielsen, hands off, and they can run it away now, East Burwood, on that half-back line there. Come in board to Goldsworthy at centre wing. He's alone. Just changes direction quickly, and Goldsworthy goes long, right to the top there. Cowell at the back, feeds it under there, gives the free kick away there.
Oh, did he do well then, or didn't he?
He give the free kick away there, and it'll go back to Vermont there at the full-back line. Just nothing on.
Stagnant, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll just run away there. Come out wide looking for Lee Rowe. Will he mark it low down? He does. And that kick came there that was from Matt D. Smith. 25-minute penalty against Ashley Martin for East Burwood. We'll bring Lee Rowe up nearly to true centre wing. We'll kick it up to the top of centre forward. Here's Power out in the lead. Todd Powers, he pushing him back down to Smith. He can't get it. Nielsen dives in on him, so Jason Smith, and we'll have another ball up. You're just struggling to find options, Steve, aren't they?
There's been absolutely on that occasion there. Brad Neal was stationed with his hand in the air. You cannot be. You've got to be a moving target. You've got to present yourself.
Adam Slater, Brad Neal, no one. Jason Smith back to Slater on hands and knees, feeds it out there. Coggan does well to Goldsworthy. Here's a chance, releasing there to kick down the half forward. Oh, over the back, Witcher, can he mark it? Spin around, he'll hand pass off to Cowell. Cowell will run in and hit the post.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it.
Would have been the sealer.
Would have been the sealer, Justin Cowell. Really good play from Witcher. Just didn't connect it right. Kept it low, but it bounced and hit the post. A point to East Burwood. 9-7-61. 5 goals clear of Vermont. 4-7-31. Kick out from Barlow to the outer side there. Has plenty of time for them to run away there from half back. It's Lamprell. Lamprell up forward towards Dwyer, but thumped away. Getting back there was might have been Coughlin over there, and it's out of bounds for a throw-in on that outer side. And we've travelled 3.5 minutes in this last quarter.
9-7-61, 4-7-31, 30 points of difference. Ball will be thrown in, centre wing out of side. Slater in the ruck, gets it down, grabs it again. Handball's back. Coughlin, Derek, handball's on to Jason Coughlin. Loses possession close to the boundary line and out of bounds for yet another throw in. Well, East Burwood have won last night the under-18 grand final. Earlier today they won the reserves grand final in First Division. And to my knowledge and those of East Burwood I've spoken to, they've never made it 3 out of 3. So it'll be a history-breaking night if they can keep going and actually win this game.
Well, it's looking that way very much so at the moment, Bob.
Vermont have in fact done that in year, I've got an idea it might have been about 96 at least that they did. They may have done it in other years as well. Okay, East Burwood coming forward now. Into 50, Cowell in front, couldn't take it on that occasion. Hands off, going over there to Witcher. Can Witcher pick it up and have a shot? No, it won't. It was Smith, Andrew, getting it out for Vermont, but he's turned it over. East Burwood to come back in through Goldsworthy. There's an East Burwood mark, chipping in there. So Witcher. And takes a solid little mark there.
He's been handy up forward, which he's kicked one.
They just keep bouncing back and bouncing back and bouncing back, and they're relentless the way they play. So Justin Witcher will kick from about 40. Not much of an angle. In he comes. Lets one go. Umpire looking at it, but it's wide. And it's a second behind for the quarter on the board to East Burwood. Vermont yet to trouble the scorers in this quarter.
Thanks, Bob. 9-8-62 to Vermont, 4-7-31. Matty Edwards at fullback, and this game has really slowed down. We've had one goal in this second half. Long kick from Edwards, straight up the middle of the ground, but Slater will sit under this and mark it. Probably lucky in the end, but he marked it. That doesn't matter. It's in the book. He marked it, so we kick it out wide, and Martin will get this. Ashley Martin at half forward, and he's been an honest contributor for East Burwood all night through the midfield, and has had a very excellent year with the East Burwood side. Ashley Martin, here he comes looking for the lead, looking for Tennant on the lead, won't reach him. Wine chips in front. Brad Smith at ground level will run out of room, and we'll have a boundary throw in. 6 minutes in this last quarter with East Burwood 9-8-62 to Vermont, 4-7-31.
Stewie Wind actually spoiled Tennant on that occasion.
So what happened then?
There's a
Stewie Wind.
A free kick to Wine.
There wasn't much in it.
Is that against Lamper or didn't see what?
Yeah.
Well, Stewie Wine with 2 goals already, and remembering in the second quarter he kicked a lovely goal from this angle but further out. So
this for the premiership.
Yep. Stewie Wine would be only 30 metres out, but on a tight angle, and come in looking for his 3rd goal. When he comes. Shot on goal. Working back, it's a goal.
Oh,
Fantastic
it's a great
goal
goal.
of Stewie Wine, and does he love it? He pumps the air, and as Steve Parsons said, East Burwood on the way to back-to-back premierships. Fantastic goal of Stewie Wine, his 3rd goal.
And guys, I noticed that Alan Richardson's down there on the bench. He's just quite happy to stay there and watch the boys play it out.
Yeah, Richo come off in the 3rd quarter, and
He must be pretty happy with the position.
certainly are. It's been a great year for East Burwood. They only hiccup probably the second semi, but they've bounced back. They did it the hard way. Just got over the line against Bayswater last week, but look what happens. A week's a long time in footy. Back in the middle, Neil knocks it out there towards half forward. Travis Edwards, who's been good after half time, kicks it down long. Stewie Wind out in front, but it's stumped away for him. A chance for Brad Cullen. Breaks a tackle 1, but he's got nowhere to go. Throws it over further, but just not the support. Goldsworthy over top. Bad bounce for Lamprell. Here's Stewie Wine. Can he run over and tap it to himself and run up? He lose his feet. Can he work it out towards Brad Smith? In they go. They dive in there, and Vermont will tie it up.
Jeff, he couldn't go any quicker on that occasion.
Yeah. I actually think he's played a pretty good game, Stuart Wine. He's led well. He's provided a target, hasn't he?
Well, 3 goals in the grand final. He's the top goal kicker on the ground. He's
certainly run hard today. Tennant knocks it out there, out the back there. It'll come to Brad Smith. He can't control it. It'll go to Goldsworthy through traffic. Hand pass out there. Couldn't find it there. Picking it up was Neil. At half-back goes to half-forward. But getting back's Nielsen. A good mark for East Burwood. He'll feed it off to Edwards foreshore and does. Travis Edwards will run away from half-back. He'll bring it in the centre ground. Looking for Martin up in front, but he's underneath it. But he'll get a free kick against Edwards. Matty Edwards and Ashley Martin. Middle of the ground will take the free kick. Little one over the top will find big Adam Slater has marked. It's Luke Slater, sorry.
Played well too, Luke.
Yeah, he's played an excellent game. Inside the centre square, wobbles it out there to half forward, but Harris couldn't mark it, backing back there. It'll come out there. He'll go back in again, Harris, and pick it up. He'll feed it off to Jason Smith. He's hot. He gets it to Edwards. Edwards, well done, round one. Round two, off he goes. Little one out here looking for Dwyer. Andrew Dwyer at left half back over the top here for Cullen. Cullen will run on, that is Mark. He's kick smothered. And towards Todd Power, did well to kept it in. Goes there. Oh, he gave a little throw to Mark. Cullen was excellent, but he goes on the half forward there. 1, 2, 3. Terrific mark, Paul Rees. Terrific mark. He nearly was. And Paul Rees, well, has kicked a lot of goals for Vermont this year, but surprisingly has not got one tonight. A chance for his first. Paul Rees will kick from about 45. In he comes. Long shot at goal. This looks pretty good all the way. Great goal to Paul Rees for Vermont. There's one back for them.
It's Vermont's first goal since the second quarter.
It's been a drought.
It's been a drought, but Paul Rees has been kicked a lot of goals this year. Has played, been honest tonight, tried hard, but just hasn't had the opportunities.
Okay, ball back in the centre at the 10-minute mark of the quarter. East Burwood 10-8-68, lead Vermont 5-7-37, so it's a 31-point game. And we see umpire Bart Marscant put us back into play. East Burwood trying to force the ball forward. Jason Cogler was on that occasion, but it didn't work. Vermont going forward. And is it a Vermont mark down there to Harris? No, it's not. Play on.
Rees again.
Rees again, spinning around, but Nielsen is back there for East Burwood and takes a timely mark. Nielsen decides to go short to Derry Coughlin at the true centre half forward position. Coughlin steps around a player, goes into the centre to Adam Slater. Slater hands off. Got a runner going through the centre there on that.
Dean.
Goes and Dean spills to the back of the pack. It's all East Burwood here. Coming across there to grab it there is Witcher.
Free kick too high.
Found it.
Too high.
And Witcher will take it about no more than 20 metres out, kicking towards the big scoreboard or Jackson's Road end.
I like the way they brought that right through the corridor, Steve. Yep. From Coughlin from half back, just brought it right up through the corridor. Yep.
And Vermont, apart from when they got out of the centre square there, coming out wide and using every length and breadth of the
Witcher
ground.
lines up for goal number 2. Umpire says that is your second goal, and that's East Burwood's 12th. 2 goals, 2 for the quarter now to East Burwood, just the 1 goal to Vermont, and we're coming up to the 12-minute mark of the quarter.
Yeah, I think, Bob, as you mentioned, Steve Parsons, the fact that the East Burwood from half-back have brought it back into the corridor through the likes of Jason Coughlin, Travis Edwards off half-back, Coughlin, Derek, and brought it up straight through to Adam Slater then, and then up forward where Witcher got the free kick and goal.
Bounce down the centre once again. Slater tried one over the back on that occasion. That's probably not a bad ploy. Leading in the race for it there is Martin. He's played a great game for East Burwood tonight. Shoots the ball in. Hey, Cowell. Well, here's this guy. He plays forward. He plays back. In fact, I know he played at Collingwood with Alan Richardson in the early part of the 90s, then went down to Tasmania, and that's where he grouped up with Brad Smith. And here they are both playing for East Burwood with Alan Richardson. Justin Cowell coming in, lets one go. Umpire doesn't move, and Justin Cowell has kicked his first goal, and East Burwood's 12th goal for the game. 3 goals, 2 for East Burwood in the quarter, just the 1 solitary goal to Vermont.
Well, it's now over, Steve. If it wasn't over before, Vermont got one back, but 2 quick replies through Witcher and Cowell, and they just dominated through the midfield section tonight and off half-back.
Yep. And the fat lady's starting to tune her voice up.
East Burwood 43 points up. We're at the 13-minute mark. We're back into action in the centre of the ground. Neil in the ruck for Vermont. Coughlin, Derek forces his way through there, and let's go a long bomb into 50. I was going to say at the back of the pack was Smith, but it bounced awkwardly. He couldn't pick it up. East Burwood now going wide. Vermont going even wider. Comes back to Lamprell. Vermont now down that centre wing position to Cullen. Brad Cullen can take about 4 bounces if he wants to. Derek Coughlin behind him, not making any ground. Into 50, and there's an East Burwood. Well, it wasn't a mark to Williams on that occasion. He just lost control of it, and over the boundary line it went out of bounds. We've played nearly 14 minutes in to the last quarter here. East Burwood 12-8-80, leading Vermont 5-7-37. As the ball comes in just on the 50-metre line, on the outer side of the ground. And it comes again. No one got any particular advantage from the ruck. Little chip kick by Vermont. East Burwood will clear, however. Perhaps they won't. Not a much. Have a look at these players diving in on top of. Boy, these players are tired. The kicks aren't going as far. They're missing their targets, and look, they're just falling on the ball. But that's understandable. It's been a physically demanding grand final, and aren't they all? Umpire Lawson bounces the ball in the 50. East Burwood wide, forcing his way through there is Dean. Played a great game for East Burwood tonight, but over the boundary line again and out of bounds. Be had another throw in. 14, nearly 15 minutes in. 12-8-80. East Burwood leading Vermont 5-7-37.
Thanks, Bob. Winding down the clock. She's all over. East Burwood are going to have back-to-back premierships. Edwards will run away from half-back. Kick it into Wind at centre forward. Well done by Lamprell. Got there first. Got the hand pass away, but Wind recovers well. Did well. Brushes him off. Stewie Wind there. And it goes out. Here's a chance for them to run inside. Kick it into Cowell in the forward pocket there. Over the back there. Cowell goes again. Shot at goal is wide. That was by Brad Smith. And wide and out of bounds on the full.
Might have been Sassman on that far side over there, Jeff.
Sassman, thanks, Bob. Yeah, they're hard to pick up in this night air on that outer side. We're a long way from the action here. We're high up in the stands of Waverley Park. 12-8-80 to Vermont 5-7-37. Kick out from the back pocket. Up they fly. Tennant in front there. Hands off here. Come back to Dean, to Derek Coughlin. Just sets it up. Here's a chance at the front. Up they fly. Thumped away at the back by Vermont. Down the hand. Witcher, can he get there first? Does well.
Whoa.
Hot one, yes. Did well.
Just pulled his head back in time.
Hit Community's body. There, Justin Witcher. Just looking for the hands off here, I think, to Coughlin. And Justin Witcher will take the kick now. He might be just out of range. He'll kick from outside 50. Looking for the little shorts. Coughlin creeping in. He's seen him and go for him and got him. You could see that. You could picture that one happening. He just, what did he, Steve, just port checking. I mean, that shouldn't be allowed to happen. Derek Coughlin, who's played a fantastic game in my opinion.
Great player.
Yep.
Plenty of poise.
And the way he was just allowed to trot in, you could see it. Now he's a long kick and could be in range. He'll kick from right on 50. In he comes. He loads up right on the 50-metre line. Kicks a long ball. Won't quite reach. Up they fly. Off hands of Slater and out of bounds for a throw-in.
Been a marvellous player for East Burwood, Derek Coughlin, coming from, well, originally Lemnos down to Oakley, and then from Oakley to East Burwood. Won the medal about 96. I think he split it with Lawrence Bingham.
Yeah, been an excellent player. He's just controlled that centre all night. Slater, shot at goal. Adam Slater, the big fella, he's run back to centre, and is he a happy boy? He's pumped the arms. And the big fella, Adam Slater, has a goal. His first goal for the game. And East Burwood now have 13 goals, 886 to Vermont, 5-7-37.
Well, guys, I guess the other thing is, and we didn't hear what Richo said at three-quarter time, but I'm sure he would have been talking to his players about finishing on, and they're certainly delivering. 4 goals, 2 for the quarter, East Burwood, just the 1 goal to Vermont.
Well, as Steve Parsons said, the floodgates were threatening to open. They have now, and here's a free kick in the middle to Slater, off the ball in centre square infringement. He looks out wide for Travis Edwards. Oh, a high ball, but he'll have time to mark it. No, he won't have time to recover. Brushes a tackle. Round 1, round 2. Inboard there to Coughlin. He's in trouble there. Nummy will come in for Vermont. Feed it off there to Smith, and Smith for Vermont will run through the middle. Kick it inside 50. Chance for Harris, but good defence from Williamson there for East Burwood. Out towards the boundary line. Gathers it well there. Oh, it's out in the full, unfortunately. It was good play, but just got pressured there from Gordon. Simon Gordon as he kicked the ball and pushed off it, and the free kick to Simon Gordon. He's quickly on with it. He'll square it up, wobbles it in the top of the square. It's gone too far for everyone. Here's Luke Slater against Dwyer, and Luke Slater, with pace away he goes. Dwyer won't let him go though. What a race there, and out they go. Here's Hislop. Can he grab it? Yes, he can. He can twist around on his left side. He better hurry up too. He just gets his kick into half forward under Tennant and Barlow. Over the back, Barlow will recover. Does well. Gathers the ball at half-back and comes across. He's got plenty of numbers. He's got Todd Power, who has Edwards wide. Edwards will now gather. Outside 50, goes long. Top of the square. Nielsen getting back. Should mark this, and does. And just bringing the play off the mark there. And good mark there to Nielsen. And it will be 25 yet.
Jeff, the other thing I've just been thinking about, some of the speculation before the finals about the teams can't play under lights, blah, blah, blah. Look, I think the standard tonight has been fantastic, and only a couple of times we've seen a player put his hands up because he was blinded.
Exactly, Bob. Now Nielsen out to Williamson at half-back. Will kick to centre wing. Over the back, Edwards couldn't mark the recovery here. Here's Cameron Dean in. He goes, courage. But Edwards gets there first for him. Off to Rees. Rees very skillful. All on his left side. Good mark there to Brad Cullen just inside the line. Just nothing on offer, and this is the problem with Vermont. They just haven't been able to kick the ball long enough inside 50, Steve.
They're just chipping the ball around.
Here's Mark Cullen. He's inside 50, does another little chip, and Harris mark over the back. No, he can't. Houghton does well. Cameron Houghton kicks clear. Here's a chance for Todd Bauer. He can't get it. Martin grabs it off him and heads for the safety of the boundary line.
And well on top, East Bull's back half.
They have.
Looking at what's happened in previous quarters, guys, there's 5 goals been kicked. I'd imagine it'll be a 25-minute quarter, 24 minutes perhaps. We're at the 20-minute mark now, so it's time on from here.
Yep, winding it down there. There won't be much in this, but East Burwood will go on to back-to-back premierships. Convincing winners here at Waverley Park under lights for the first time ever. And a free kick will go back there to Dobell for East Burwood has taken a free. Another 25-metre penalty against Vermont. They're becoming very undisciplined. And Dobell will come up to centre wing. Has lots of spare numbers. He has Luke Slater on the lead. He's played a terrific game too, Luke Slater. He squares it right across the ground with a beautiful kick there. And here's a chance for Williamson, who's followed up. Adam Williamson. No, there's a free kick off the ball, and it will go back to Vermont. Might be Todd Power, and Todd Power will have the free kick in the centre of the ground. 21
minutes into the quarter, and Todd Power will take the kick for Vermont in the centre square here at Waverley. Getting a shot, but he ignores that. He decides to go across there to Nummy. Fiddling around a little bit with it, back to Todd Power, I suppose. They go even wider on this occasion to Gordon.
Fiddling around, they've
Backwards
gone nowhere.
Forwards, gone absolutely nowhere. That's about the 4th kick, and Nummy takes it back in the centre. He's the only player that's gone any way forward, and he finds Smith, Andrew, into the 50 on this occasion. Big fly from the back of the pack by Dobell. Couldn't bring it down for East Burwood, but a shot by, I think it's, is it Rees? Frankish. And that is just the one behind, and we have another streaker.
Well, I suppose as they say in the classics, Bob, it had to happen, didn't it?
Here we go. Here's another security guard. He's off and running.
He's not the same one, is it?
No, God, no, he's got much more pace. This bloke.
But anyway, congratulations. He's reached the boundary and he's off. But
You're going to be decorated the top of the fence, Steve.
That race is on.
He's left his trademark behind.
The race is on. But anyway, we're ready. We'll get back to the football. Jason Coghlan from full back kicks out.
Okay, Coghlan goes to the wing on the outer side. Luke Slater in front. He'll probably just see it over the boundary line for a throw. And we're at the 22, nearly 23-minute mark of the quarter as Sassman comes back on for East Burwood. Having a well-earned rest there, I think, is Witcher. Boy, he's played a game tonight. Okay, ball comes back in. Slater over the top. Forces the ball about 15 metres around the boundary line. Close again. Umpire looking like East Burwood back in. Coghlan. Derrick on this occasion must be for his 30th kick of the night. Gets the ball back up. Sassman in front. Handballs along in front of him again. East Burwood go further forward. Comes into Wind in the 50, and Wind taking a mark on the chest. Already kicked 3 for East Burwood. Boy, he was pumped after he kicked the last one. He'll kick this one from about 45.
Terrific pass from Brad Smith there from East Burwood. Hit Stewie Wine right out in front on the lead.
Been a wonderful player for East Burwood. I think he arrived at the club about 95 from Hawthorn. Let's go. That's a goal. That's goal number 4. East Burwood finishing off 5 goals, 2 for the quarter to 1-1 Vermont. And we've now played 24 minutes. Only be a minute or so to go in the game. Yes, Stewie Wine came from Hawthorn. I think he played 70-odd games in the reserves down there and been a wonderful player for the East Burwood club.
Yeah, well, congratulations to Alan Richardson, back-to-back premierships. Terrific effort this year and last year, and they'll be worthy winners.
He certainly brought a lot to East Burwood Football Club, hasn't he? Okay, Derry Coughlin on the right foot that time. Kicks the ball, and as the siren sounds, and it's an East Burwood Senior Grand Final for the year 2000. The final score, East Burwood, 14 goals, 892 have defeated Vermont, 5-8-38. The goal kickers for East Burwood, Stewie Wine with 4. 2 goals to Cameron Dean, 2 goals to Justin Witcher, 2 goals to Brendan Hislop, and 1 goal each to the following: Ashley Martin, Chris Goldsworthy, Justin Cowell, and Adam Slater, the big fella. For Vermont, 5 goals. We had 2 to Andrew Dwyer, which may well be his swan song in Eastern District footy. 1 goal to Matthew Edwards, 1 to Matt Smith, and 1 to Paul Rees.
Thanks, Bob Young. We could see a very excited East Burwood group, and Alan Richardson was a very, very relieved and happy man on the boundary. He raced out to his players. Steve Parsons, East Burwood far too good on the night.
Oh, they were fantastic. I think Alan Richardson and his boys have done a marvellous job. They've been a little bit flat for the last couple of weeks, and Vermont towed them up in that second semi, and then they were still a little bit flat, but Bayswater were fantastic, and they just got over the line there and had to completely dominate the grand final. There was a spark they needed. The big occasion is what they needed, and I think well done to Alan Richardson and East Burwood Football Club. They've thoroughly deserved their win. They've been the best side all year and enjoyed.
Well, I think, Steve, too, that they've certainly set the benchmark in First Division now for all clubs, including your own North Ringwood, what to strive for. Know what's required now, and a terrific year. Well, look, it's been an historic night here at Waverley, the first night, Bob, ever in Australian football rules history for a night grand final, the first one to be played under lights.
I feel just very privileged,
yes,
Jeff, to having been part of it with clearly the 2 teams in this competition that have been at the top of their game now for 3 decades.
Yep.
It's very hard to break in. We realise that it's not impossible, but look, these 2 teams have
they've dominated the competition, haven't they? They've dominated the competition, and been a terrific effort for East Burwood. We'll wind up here. We've thoroughly enjoyed the night. Terrific win to East Burwood. Congratulations, commiserations to Vermont, and they're unlucky, but congratulations to East Burwood. For myself, Jeff Ward, Bob Young, thanks for your help tonight, mate. Terrific.
Thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity, and thanks for your help through the year.
Likewise, Bob. And Steve Parsons, thanks, mate. We've enjoyed working with you. Thanks for your special comments throughout the final series.
Thanks, fellas. We've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you. We'll sign off now with East Burwood, the 2000-year premiers in First Division EFL.
Yeah. Number 30,